Yeah, welcome to another episode of ArtCo Drone Solutions Saturday Night Live, number 116. We've got a great show today. Now I gotta go and there we go. I turned off my YouTube. Now I just hear the live feed. That always works. And we've got a great show today. We're going to talk about accessories for the GoPro and the Osmo Pocket and all sorts of other accessories. So before I bring up my first panelist, let's say hello to everybody in the chat. And we got Steve Mack, Drone Views, Media, Hot Rod, Daytona, Gene Fox, Green Mountain Droning. And then we've got, Shani, Media, what's the name of her? Mine's Video, Mine's Journey, that's right, all the way from Taiwan. Yeah, and then we got Glenn, Thunderbird 6, all the way from Down Under. And who else do we have here? And Jody Drone Shots, and Michael Flies Own Drones, and Matt's Air 420. All right, we got a good group. Michael Blaze just joined us. Good. And Jerry Bauer, welcome. And Mel 400 AGL. Let's get the show started. Let's bring up my co-host, the effervescent, all the way from Liverpool, New York. Let's welcome Chuck from Kovachin.
Hey, Art. Hey, everybody. How you doing?
I'm doing
effervescent. Effervescent singing.
Effervescent. Well, wow. Today I am
Alka-Seltzer.
Gruntled and Couth today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Yep. Learning some new words. Yep.
Working on those SAT words. I need to work on those.
And then we got Bill Ronayne Toys, all the way from, he's from New York as well. I think he lives in Florida right now. Then we got Steelman 58, all the way from Ajax, Ontario, Canada. More Canucks. Great.
I love Texas living in New York. I don't like hurricanes, though, so I live in New York.
Well, you guys get hurricanes there if you live, on Long Island or Manhattan there.
Yeah, well, we get things called nor'easters. They're winter hurricanes. Yep. We get those.
Yep. That's right.
Hot Rod and Daytona. Yeah, we don't have fire ants yet either. They haven't acclimated themselves to the cold, but they're working on it. They'll probably get up here eventually. Or iguanas.
Well, I'm sorry if I got that wrong. You live in Florida, but aren't you originally from New York, Bill? If I'm wrong, where are you originally from, Bill?
Dun 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 dun.
So how are you doing, Chuck?
I'm good. I've been cranking out vlog videos the last couple of weeks. I think I have a couple more in me still.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve Mack. There's my email if you want to send me an email.
We're making use of that stuff you want to talk about tonight, the old Osmo Action and the Osmo Pocket that both use.
Yes, I've been using it in the last couple of videos. Yeah, I just downloaded the Mimo and grab it right here. I got this little gadget.
Look at that setup. Pretty solid, man. That looks like the PGY Tech setup where they have like the little.
Yes, it is. Nice. This is made of aluminum instead
aluminium.
Aluminium, as
Aluminium.
Keithy would say.
That's right. That's what the UKers will say. Sean from Geeksfana.
Yep.
Aluminium.
Yeah.
It's a good setup
And I
though.
got this little gadget right
Yeah, because
here.
the side mount for the USB-C on the phone is a little suspect without something like that to hold everything in place.
Right.
I suffer with the little screen because I like the covertness of the pocket just by itself.
Right. Right.
But when you use
And look,
I don't know, do you have the
look
selfie
at
stick
that.
yet?
It's got a cool cold shoe.
Oh, it does. I never knew that. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for like a Rode microphone or something,
You
or
could
any
put a
kind of, or a
microphone,
light.
or you could put a panel light on here.
Yep, you put a panel
Yeah,
light up there.
this would be cool.
But then it
Hmm.
gets pretty big. I mean, the coolest thing about the Pocket is how covert it is when you just use it
Yeah.
like by itself. If you can deal with the fact that the screen is strictly for like composing your getting the shot centered,
Right.
and then if you can deal with the screen, then it's pretty awesome because people hardly know it's there. You can put it in its
Right.
Wi-Fi base and put it on a table
Hmm.
too, and it'll lock right in
That's
on you. It's great for vlogging.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that is handy. And you know, Mike sent me this. This is a
yep,
little GoPro holder, and I've
yep.
been using this to do videos with myself.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, I
yeah,
just stick that in there, and
yep.
uh, the last video or one of the videos that's going to be released soon, I use this thing and I use my light that's over here on top, and boy, that looked really good. Hmm.
Another thing you might want to consider is like the Freewell wide angle lens. I grabbed one of those before
Oh,
my last trip, and
right.
it makes a big difference for vlogging because you don't have to have arms that are a mile long. With the
Yeah.
wide angle lens, it brings in
Yeah.
a nice wide field of view, and it's not really distorted. There's not a lot of barrel distortion. It's workable.
Hmm.
Um, the ND filters that work with that, one of mine fell off, and I reached out to Freewell, and the good people at Freewell sent me an entire new kit.
Oh, awesome.
Very good
Awesome.
support. Hands, I tip my hat to Freewell. They've been very kind to me. That was pretty awesome.
That's
It just showed up
wonderful.
today. The whole set showed up today.
Oh, here's my dead cat, and it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
slides in and try not to.
So the thing is, Art, though, once you put all that stuff on the little pocket, now you might as well have a great big Sony A6600, a serious
Yeah.
camera with you, though, because now you've gone,
Hmm.
you've had so much stuff.
Hmm.
You've kind of taken away from the beauty of the pocket, is,
Right.
and that's its portability and
Now I just need an
comfort.
adapter for this to plug into. Now the
Into the
PGY Tech,
yeah,
he
that's
didn't have.
$40, man. The little adapter, I have that thing. It's $40,
You know,
but it does work
uh,
really nice.
yeah,
Yeah, the microphone is not the greatest on the pocket.
yeah, it's okay.
But it is a super handy device, and you bring that on a trip with you. It packs small and it's very capable, powerful
Hmm.
little camera. I guess the Pocket 2 is a little better with wide angle. I think it comes with a wide angle lens already, and it has a
Right,
wireless mic that comes with the creators package with the stick and everything.
right.
It's pretty formidable.
Oh, well,
Good stuff.
thanks, Chris. You can follow me on Instagram as well.
Yeah, good stuff. I
Mm,
use that pocket. I like the Pocket so much I bought a second one. I have two of
oh,
those things.
right.
One's
Hmm.
good, two's twice as good.
Now I heard you guys kind of bashing on the GoPros this morning.
I've never had one, so I was just listening to the bashing, but I do love my. Well, I shouldn't say mine. It's Lori's. The Osmo Action is really awesome. Works
Yeah.
really good,
Hmm.
and that with the Pocket, it's a great setup to have two of them.
Now I played around with the five quite a bit. I really like it. The picture quality is so much better than the three, and it
It,
also has image stabilization. And the
Yes.
7, my
There's
only problem is sometimes it'll just stop on you.
Well, that was the complaint this morning. It wasn't.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
what I
number one
heard.
complaint, that it'll freeze up and then you don't have footage. And that's, let's face it, you sometimes only get one shot to get the shot,
Right.
and it's gone.
Mhm.
It's gone. So if
Yeah.
GoPro lets you down, that's pretty disappointing.
Mhm.
Yeah, he does.
Only 3 lots down. So
Only 3. Art, do you have like pint glasses and stuff? Did you see that Teespring or Spring added that stuff? You can do pint glasses now.
oh,
Yeah,
I'll have to check that out.
you make some pint glasses. I was creating some this afternoon. I created pint glasses on there. You can create. They have like a stainless steel double wall 20-ounce jug. I think they've had that for a while. That's kind of cool. In fact, I
Wow.
ordered one of my own. I figured it'd be nice when I'm vlogging to have my very own Kovaction drinky.
Well, speaking of Teespring, let's show off some of the stuff.
Show us some of your stuff, man. Let's see your store.
Alrighty.
Gotta have a mask. That's right. That looks good. Mug looks good. Is the shirt two-sided, Art?
No, it isn't.
Oh, you can add a backside if you decide to,
Yeah, I know. I could do that. Yeah,
Like,
maybe I'll do that down the roads.
upgrade. Yeah, looks good.
Hey,
Stuff looks
AZ
good.
Drone Dude, welcome to the show. Cool, cool,
Drone dude. I
cool.
think he showed up late in the 2K drone stream this morning too. Good guy. Good man. Appreciate the
Yes, he
support
is.
here and there and everywhere.
Yes, and he was just a recent winner of the toffee.
Yeah. Lori's still disappointed about last week. She felt she got robbed. She wanted a recount. It was kind of like the election. Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay.
It's funny though.
GFD custom shirts. Cool. Thanks, Steve. Good to know.
There are a bunch of good vendors that do shirts up, but the only thing with the Spring line is I noticed my shirts from Spring, they don't always hold up as well as I'd like them to. I'm not sure if it's just my bad luck or what, but they
I've got
looked
my
great when
Rodney
they were
Bell
brand new.
shirt on.
Nice. Where did his come from? Was it from Teespring or something else?
I am not sure, but that's not all.
That's not all. There's more, but wait, there's more. You also get. Yeah, now you're talking.
Yep.
The tumbler. Yeah,
Yep.
Spring has the tumblers. You can make an ArtCo drones tumbler, but I think they've been out a while. You've got to have an ArtCo drone solutions tumbler, Art. Got to get one. Got to get one out there, man. Got to do it.
So, Chuck, have you tried the Velocidrone simulator?
Not Velocidrone. No, I've
No.
used Liftoff,
Oh.
and I've used the FPV drone controller, and I'm really bad at it. I gotta keep trying. I mean, there's no way. There is no way anytime soon I'm gonna be flying an FPV drone in manual mode from DJI until I get good, because I'll drive it right into the ground. It's not gonna be pretty. I keep trying though.
I've been using the Velocidrone today.
Yeah, what do you think of it?
And I notice I'm getting better each time I use it.
Yeah, I'm not getting better. I'm getting discouraged. I'm starting to realize why I was picked last in gym class all the time. Every time I play it. But I keep trying.
Kid that you can't get the rope going.
Yeah, I couldn't climb the ropes. No. No.
I didn't have to do PE.
I sucked at the ropes. I sucked at everything. You know, I finally found something I'm good at. I can fly drones. I'm good at that.
There you go.
But I guess I'm not really good at it because if it's an FPV drone, I still suck at it. So it's whatever. But I'm good at editing.
Yep, I'm getting better at that too.
That's an art in itself. Art.
Yep.
That's an art in itself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and that's something you and I can both do really well. It just takes like everything takes practice and perseverance, and you get really good at it.
Chris wants to know if Lori's flown through the swing set.
Jesus, here we go. She was talking about it today. She's like, I want to take the drone through the swing set. I was like, I want $1,000 deposit before you do that. That's what I was telling her while we were walking today. But yeah, she'll probably do it. That chick, she'll probably do it. She'll right through the thing. She doesn't care if she snaps the arms off, but she'll get through it. At least to go through once. I don't know if it'll go through twice.
Well, on the Velocidrone, to give you an idea of the kind of obstacles, what it is, it's kind of a industrial setting near a seaport. You got a high rise going up with a crane. You got some ocean going ships.
Freudian slip of the ship. Oops.
Ported, and then you got cranes and all kinds. And then there's an FPV obstacle course you could go through. And then inland, you got kind of a hilly, mountainous area with some pine trees. So I did it all. I was zipping around the pine trees and trying to get as low as I can to the ground and kind of going with the terrain and going through the cranes. And I went through the building a couple times. So I'm getting better at that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about trying to get your altitude just right and
the throttle,
the forward momentum.
Yeah, the throttle is key. That's why I'm really struggling. Even when like on the DJI FPV drone remote, you can crank down the springs so that the throttle goes from 0 to 100%, basically, and stays at 0. Stays where you put it, like the way you want it. Mm-hmm. I have a hell of a time adjusting throttle to keep things in check, and I just crash in 10 seconds at best, and I'm in the ground. I've embedded the frickin' drone into the ground virtually.
Are you using a lanyard?
No, should I be?
Yeah, that'd probably help you quite a bit.
You think?
Because then that way, it's taking a lot of stress off your arms and giving you more dexterity with your hands. Because I find I be instead of a thumber, I'm a
pincher.
A pincher now. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely need to switch to
pinching. I just
pinching.
have that thing just set there and then.
Yeah, my lanyard broke. My old Carolina Drones lanyard bit the dust in the Catskills.
Oh boy.
Luckily, did I tell you that story? I was holding my smart controller, and luckily it broke when I was sitting at a picnic table, because if that lanyard had broken when I was just out in the woods, it would have fallen and probably smacked on some rocks. That would have been, you know how that would go. It'd be like anything else, like French toast or whatever. Anything that falls on the ground, it always lands like sticky side down. It would have landed screen side down on the rocks and been done.
Yep.
But yeah, I need a new lanyard.
Yeah.
So, or a new hook anyway. Yeah.
Well, I'll show you.
The metal lanyard wasn't what it was cracked up to be. Pardon me. Cracked up to be.
Well, I have the...
Now, that's a real remote, though.
Tyrannus QX7.
So where'd the lanyard come from? That's a big remote. It's nice.
Yeah. No, yes, it did come with the drone. It says Tyrannus on it.
Cool.
And then you plug... It's got a USB port on the bottom.
Inside? On the bottom,
but it's the old school USB, not the
like micro,
the mini USB. I think.
Oh, mini, yeah, mini was like Wow, we're going way back to like 2008.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh
see?
yeah, Mini. Check it out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's got an SD card slot and, yep.
Yeah. I still have a couple of things that use Mini USB, but not too many. I have like a really nice my label maker for when I label the drones and stuff. That's Mini USB still.
The GoPro 3, that's a USB
Like a
mini.
mini. Yeah.
Yeah.
Micro was a big advancement. I remember that was like what 2010, I think, 9 or 10.
Yeah.
It showed up on the OG Droid, the
Right.
Motorola Droid, the very first one with the flip out keyboard and everything.
Hello,
Oh,
Tom.
Ten Toes is in the
Oh,
house
10 toes.
from
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Yep. It's okay.
OKC maybe.
Mm, yeah. I
I haven't been there in a
performed
few
in
years.
OKC.
Yeah, I have a bunch of friends in Oklahoma City. Cool place. Good people.
Yeah, I worked at the time it was Laughs Comedy Club in Bricktown.
Yeah, we
That's the
talked about
old
this last time. So like Lori and I didn't go to Bricktown, but we went to the one up by Lake Hefner. We talked about it last week.
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was
and
good.
there was a Joker's. I think I'm not sure if it was in OKC or but it was near Oklahoma City.
Yeah. Well, we
Uh,
were up north. We had friends up north of the city. So we were more
right.
towards Lake Hefner, like I was talking about last time. And
Umusta, Bill.
yeah.
Coast to coast drone.
Lots of good beer out there. Well, there's good beer everywhere, but they had a
Yeah.
bunch of really cool breweries, and we ended up making some really good beer drinking friends when we were
Oh,
out
cool.
that way.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool.
and yeah, it's pretty cool. I think I have some. I'm looking up high because up on my shelf I have a whole bunch of beer cans and bottles and stuff. I'd swear there's a couple from there
Right. Cool.
somewhere.
Do you have the Coors beer up there?
No, that's your stuff out your way. You all right? You'll be all right. Nah, the stuff I really like from Colorado is Weldworks. Weldworks is my favorite,
Right.
and there's Cerebral. Cerebral's
Right.
downtown. Cerebral's pretty. Have you ever been to Cerebral Brewing? I think I asked you before.
No.
It looks like science class in there. It's very cool. The
Wow.
beers, the flights are in beakers. They bring out a bunch of little beakers and they pour the beer in the
Oh,
beakers. It's very
cool,
cool.
cool.
Yeah, it's a cool place. It's right in the middle of downtown. The parking lot fits like maybe 12 cars. I don't know where everybody fits, but their own lot is like super cramped because it's downtown Denver. There's not a lot of space.
Yeah, it's pretty much you have to pay for parking.
Yeah, if you get
Yeah,
lucky,
they're
like
not in one of those lots where you go up to the little booth and you put your dollar bill or your credit. Now you
yeah,
put your credit card in. And I think now the parking meters you could do credit cards as well.
yeah, a lot of stuff, and a lot of it's internet based, like you said. You can even use your phone now, and there's like an app, and you can
Hmm.
pay your parking tariff that way. But yeah, they had a few spaces. Maybe it's more like 20 spaces, but super
Right.
cool place. Pretty much every brewery I went to in Colorado, whether it was in Aurora or Colorado Springs or wherever, it was all good stuff and just really cool vibes. So I want to go back out. Gotta get more beer. I love the beer out
There
there.
you go. The Cure Show wants to know when the snow is going to melt. It's already melted.
Just not on your green screen.
This was March of 2020. Yep, it was. I got that photo. It was right when the pandemic really got going, when the lockdown started.
That must be why I like the water tower in that picture so much. It makes me want to fly around that water tower because there's a water tower in downtown Syracuse in Franklin Plaza that
Cool.
I flew it last year during COVID.
Hey,
Johnny
Johnny.
D.
Johnny D. RC.
Got some pretty serious hardware in his little avatar.
Yep. Well,
So
and not far from that water tower, there's a radio tower
yeah,
right next to it. So you gotta be pretty careful flying around there.
doesn't the water
But,
tower kind of block the or radio tower? Oh, radio tower is probably a lot taller. Just can't see it in the
yeah,
picture
it
here.
is. It's quite a bit tall.
Yeah, it's those guy wires that get you in trouble. The tower is probably easy to see. It's the guy wires that'll get you. Stinky
It's
wires.
the home of KPOF,
KPOF?
Pillar of Fire.
Isn't that funny? West of the Mississippi, all the radio stations start with K, East, W.
Yep. However, Des Moines does have WHO.
Yeah? Who?
Mm-hmm. That's the exception.
That's a really old station because the oldest station I know of in New York State is WGY, which is in the Capital District. WGY when they only had 3 call letters, which is a really old station.
Now, it was either Pittsburgh or Philadelphia that has KDKA. And KDKA and WXYZ in Detroit
Nice.
were the very first radio stations to go on the air commercially.
Even though they have 4 call letters though, that's kind of interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, like WGY is AM. It's AM band, not FM. Why are you talking? Were those radio stations AM or FM that were the first to go on? I'm guessing
Probably
AM. If they were first,
this was
yeah.
1920.
Do you remember when we were kids and you'd be in the parents' car and you'd be listening to the radio and you go under the bridges and go, ooh, and then get the little, you'd lose signal for a second.
Yep.
I remember how cool it was when we got FM, and at first the audio quality was a million times better, and then it didn't do that. But the problem was you only got 30 miles of range out of it. Unlike
That's
AM,
right.
they go like 100 miles.
Yeah, AM radio, you get. Yes, Curious Show, WKRP.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
KDKA is in Pittsburgh. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. Very cool. Radio is cool.
And the first radio station in Colorado was KOA Radio, 850 AM. The 50,000 watt blowtorch.
50,000 watts. Hey,
Yeah.
what the hell channel is Ken Heron on right now? He said it last time.
WJLI, Paducah, Kentucky.
I gotta write that down right now. WJLI. Is it I?
And you can find it on this app. It's not on iHeartRadio. It is on my tuner.
I'm gonna have to stalk him on there. Gonna have to stalk his radio station. Start calling him up.
To him early in the morning.
Call him up when he's on. Does he take phone calls? He should.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's really cool trivia. Very cool.
Used to be. Oh.
Doc Murd. That's really cool, man.
Doc Murdot's in the house.
That's awesome, man. I didn't know that.
Then we got WING AM Dayton, Ohio, where all the women are round on the side and high in the middle.
That was a Bugs Bunny joke. Remember what's high in the middle and round at both ends? Ohio. Get it? Get it? That's a Bugs Bunny thing. Yeah.
That's also a Japanese word. Ohio gozaimatsu.
Gesundheit. Gesundheit-san.
Now, I did, this was back in 2010. I started off as a guest on this radio show, and I ended up being the producer of the show because I was the one booking all the guests and stuff. And it was a 5,000 watt station. And my running joke was, we're the 5,000 watt big lighter of Colorado.
5,000 watts. What kind of range did you get with five kilowatts?
Oh, God, you couldn't get on the other side of Denver and listen.
You go on the other side of the water tower.
Now I understand why that guy didn't last very long there. The guy was an oddball. He decided to run for mayor of Denver and hired me as his campaign manager. And I told him, I said, all right, you're going to need a petition to get on the ballot. You need to get volunteers and get out there, and he wouldn't do it. And he finally fired me. I said, you know what, screw it.
Yeah, be like, up yours.
Yeah.
Good riddance.
Mm-hmm. Because, I knew how to do all this stuff. And it's like, you want to run for office, this is what you got to do.
Freaking politicians.
He was just all talk and no
politician.
substance.
Politician.
Well,
flapping their lips. Blah, 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 blah. They're all the same.
Anyway.
All the same. They pick red, they pick blue. They're all the same.
One cool thing about AM radio is late at night, you could hear radio stations from hundreds of miles away.
Yes, that's very true, and that's very cool. And there's some science behind that, and I can't remember what the science is.
Well, the radio waves would bounce off the ionosphere.
For real, that's it, right?
Yep. That's how the radio waves would carry long distance, because of at night when the atmosphere is cooler, the ionosphere changes to where it helps to deflect the radio signals to.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Now
that's the science. Nice.
Back in Los Angeles, we had KFI
640. Yeah, we have WHEN in Syracuse is 620 on the radio dial. That's the low end.
KHJ Channel 9. And then it became KCAL.
So I think the low end of AM is the desirable end, right, for range? Because like the two oldest stations in Syracuse are like 570 and 620.
Mm-hmm.
Which are low on the dial. I think the upper end is what, around 1,500? Something like that.
KOA radio can be heard in 38 states.
Because
because Denver,
of internet?
We're a mile high.
Oh.
Yep.
You got a good advantage there.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And plus, living here in Colorado, you could pick up stations from
space.
Get
aliens.
Yeah.
Nice.
Stations from all over the East Coast. You couldn't pick up anything on the, out west because, the mountains.
Yeah, the mountains block you.
Mm-hmm.
You probably got a pretty good view of the east, though. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty wild. Whole thing is wild.
Yep.
I think it's pretty wild that we have a freaking drone on Mars that we can reach from here. That's pretty damn wild. And they did a software update from Earth to Mars to update the drone. Cool. That's super cool.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty damn cool.
How long does it take for a signal to get there? Like 20 minutes?
Was it 20 minutes or like 20 hours? It seemed like it took forever to do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They didn't even know if it was going to work. They had like 50-50 odds. They did it anyway, and they did better than I do in the casino with 50-50 odds. It worked. I always give them my money. 50-50 odds? Yeah, they're getting Chuck's money.
Yep.
Pay up.
They have 300 watt linear and single. Ooh, cool.
Oh, CB. Isn't that CB? With the
Yep.
sideband?
Yep. Yep.
What was the deal with sideband? I never had a CB radio with sideband. That's all the
Uh,
truckers use that stuff.
yep.
It
Yeah, I
sounded really
remember that
funny.
was the thing in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My dad used to work for GE, so I had a really cool CB antenna. It looked like my buddy called it the trucker special because it's like 17 dials and like dip switches and stuff on it. Was about this long. It was great. It's still in my basement. I still have it. Probably still works.
Mm-hmm.
Do truckers even use that crap anymore? Are they still using it? Still
I
legit?
don't know.
I wonder.
Okay. Chris says low frequency. 2
Lower the
megahertz.
better. Yeah, I knew that. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It really is. Radio is very cool.
And how about shortwave?
I remember shortwave radio. Like
I
ham?
used to have a radio that had shortwave, AM, FM, marine band, and television.
I remember
And the
all those
weather.
bands. Like, remember, I never got a ham radio license though because you had to learn Morse code and I was too lazy.
Yeah.
I only knew S and O.
Now the shortwave was cool because then you could listen to foreign countries, and then you hear that noise. It reminds me of the old modem tone. That
Yeah. Yeah. From my AOL days and before.
And from what I understand, that was a teletype signal.
Oh,
That was
really?
back in the day where everybody had a teletype, where it would send the signal, and then it would hit like this typewriter. If you remember Andromeda Strain,
Yeah.
the old one, yeah,
Yeah.
they had a teletype.
Wow.
That's where the signal would come in, and it would print out on paper.
Cool.
Yeah.
I remember my first modem was a whopping 2400 baud modem.
Ooh, yes, same here.
I was cooking with, because all my buddies had 1200 baud, but I had 2400 baud. I was twice as fast. It took 90 minutes to get a 1.44 megabyte file, which was the size of a floppy disk then.
Hey, hello, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Good to see you.
And Thunderbird, yeah, that's really cool, man. About the sideband stuff, that's cool.
And and then when I got 56K modem and DSL.
Oh, then you were cooking with Wesson. Yeah, I remember getting my first 56K. Do you remember how long the handshake sound was for that? Went on forever. It's like,
yeah.
Beep, beep, beep. Had those couple of beeps in it and stuff to just add to the. That went on for like 10 minutes before you finally connected.
Mm-hmm.
And then it didn't seem really any faster.
And Ken Heron does a great modem sound.
Yeah, he does the thing with the picture shows. You have to guess. You have to guess the image.
He could do it with his voice.
Oh, really?
Make that. Yeah, he could imitate that.
I haven't heard him do that. That's
one time he came on my show and he did that, and that was pretty awesome.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that. He does have that game show thing though, where he has the picture start to reveal itself, like in the 80s.
Yeah.
Where it comes. That's pretty clever and cool.
What was that called? Oh, the modem game.
The modem game. Modem. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's how it was. It was really that bad.
And he started off with the old Windows.
Yeah, Windows 3.1 or
yeah.
Yeah, the first Windows I ever used was 95. It was pretty bad.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that stuff was not cheap then. I mean, that was, it was state of the art back then. And
oh, here, this will bring back some. Hang up the phone. I'm on the computer.
Yes. Oh, my roommate used to get so pissed at me because I'd hoard the phone line with the computer. He gets so Yeah, I remember how excited I was to get DSL in the house because when she had DSL, you could have working phone lines and comm at the same time. And I think it was, yeah, MS DOS.
Yep.
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 Dirty operating system.
Yep. That's what I started off with. Yep.
Me too. Good old DOS, baby. Yep. Windows 3.1 was a ripoff of frickin' iOS, basically. Well, I mean, back in the day, it was.
Well, you know who started
Mac.
that was Xerox. They were the first one with the GUI.
Wait, I thought Microsoft went to IBM to develop Windows at first. Didn't they?
Well, this is what
it was like QDOS, and they called it Quick and Dirty Operating System or something.
Right.
Yeah. Was that Xerox?
Well, Bill Gates went over to Xerox, and Xerox just basically said, well, yeah, you can have this. It's like, man.
Bill Gates.
Oh,
I had one of those, a 99.4A. Jerry, I had one of those, a TI 99.4A, man. That thing was badass. That was better than the Commodore 64, really, for its day. But nobody had a TI 99.4A except you and me. We were like the only two who had them, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the neat thing about that had sound. You could do sound effects. And it had a built-in cartridge tray on.
Yep, it did on the right side. And it was like brushed aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
I got that for Christmas, and my parents gave that to me and my younger sister for Christmas, and we had that all day with the tape cassette adapter, so we could record files on a cassette tape, and we had like all that stuff, and all day we wrote software and we're like, creating things. And then about 8 o'clock at night, they came down and said, "Oh, look, Santa Claus left some stuff, forgot to leave it out." That was all the game cartridges, like.
Oh, Tento said Xerox design. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Hey, Johnny Drone Flyer. Welcome to the show.
Good stuff, man. Trash 80.
Yeah. The Trash 80, yep. I had a friend in high school that had one, and it had the great big floppy disk.
Yes, the monster ones.
Yeah.
They weren't 5 1/4s. They were bigger. They were like 10-inch floppies or something, right? Those ones.
They were 8 inches.
Yeah, they were the great big monster ones. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did I tell you that story? My next door neighbor, Jimmy Gabriel, his dad had one, and he had a regular typewriter, like he had the electric typewriter.
Right.
And he had the device that you put on top of the typewriter to like, it would hit the keys to turn it into a printer.
Oh, cool.
It was pretty cool. Yeah. And that was like, you think about the stuff back then and how stupid it is now, but it paved a way to all the stuff that we have today. That's so awesome.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I had the Timex Sinclair 1000.
I remember that thing.
You know how it was this big? That's how big it was. The keyboard. I mean,
how'd you work with that?
It was about the thick, like a paperback book.
Yeah.
Your television plugged into the back, and then you plugged in your
tape. Yeah, it had the deck. Yep, we had the adapter thing too, the RF adapter for the 99.4A, the TI 99.4A, and that thing. But that had a full-size keyboard. That was actually pretty respectable.
That was the other cool thing. Mine had that membrane keyboard.
Yeah, not so good.
That was a pain in the butt.
And the real keyboard was nice.
The upgrade that I did was I got a regular keyboard for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were the early days, man, of the home computer. Early days.
Drone. Oh, Joey said. Oh, wait a minute. Who was that? Who was it? Oh, there it was. There it is. Somebody
That's a "Hey, you kids, get off my lawn" moment. Yeah, sorry, man. We're taking you back to the dark ages.
Yeah.
when vinyl was king the first time around.
Back in my day,
In my
we used to
day!
hand solder each line on there on our
Yeah, back then you
computer.
could use a soldering gun, a great big honking gun, and not destroy stuff because everything was like great big full size resistors and capacitors
Yeah.
and crap. It wasn't this little glued on stuff that the surface mounted devices are really, wow,
Yeah.
super tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, you could fix stuff. Or a tube.
Yeah.
Fix
Oh, and the
tubes.
CPU was an 8088.
Yes, the 8088. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
That was in the that was the XT, right?
XT. And then they went to the 286.
Yep. My very first my own personal computer, my first real personal computer was a 386 SX.
Yeah.
And a 16 megahertz bus, which at the time
Yeah.
16
Right.
megahertz was like, my buddy's like, oh my god, that's so fast.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I
That's
worked
where
at this
it started.
company where we would scan documents and we would archive them. And we had 386s and 486.
486 was a big jump. That was the Pentium. No, the 586 was the Pentium.
Yeah, that's
586 was the Pentium. And that's when things really got cooking. The Pentium was the beginning of what we have today. That's the granddaddy of it, really.
Yeah.
And then remember the Pentium 2. I remember I was excited. Oh, I got a Pentium 2. Ooh. With a DVD drive. Ooh.
That's right, Gene. That's what
yeah,
I
big
have
tube amps.
over here if you guys want.
Yeah, they're super smooth.
This is the amp I've got.
Yeah, you can't beat tubes. There's that warmth that you get from tubes because it's analog, basically.
Fender Sidekick Reverb 30.
Yeah, it's the warmth, right? I mean, remember the Macintosh amplifiers were the thing because they're so warm. Sound is Yep, that's the thing, man. We're analog, so digital and analog don't mix well.
Oh yeah, and
oh yeah, baby,
10 meg.
Yeah, drone shots. My buddy had that. He had a 286 with a 20 meg, and I got my 386 with a 30 meg. And he's like, "Oh my god, that thing's so huge! You're never gonna fill that hard drive."
Yeah.
Yeah, those good old days,
man.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, we've come a long ways.
Well, back in the 90s, I used to build computers. I'd buy all the components, the cases, and
I still do that.
My side hustle.
Oh, it's not a side hustle for me personally, though. I love to build my own. Like I built my video editing machine. I built that. That's still a thing, but it ain't cheap anymore. You know, you buy the parts, it's freaking expensive, but it's still fun to build your own, customize it and stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thing's a beast. It's making my room pretty warm though. I'm sweating in here because thing's cranking out heat like there's no tomorrow in here. Friggin' thing. With i9 and freaking 3080 cooking all at the same time. Jesus.
I've got an AMD 1700X.
Yeah.
And it's let's see, I think it's an 8-core. 8-core? Yeah. Much faster
Hexacore?
than
octa-core. Octa-core. Yeah, I have 14 cores on the i9.
Yeah.
And she's running, and I think I've got her clocked kind of conservative, just under like 4 gigs.
Yeah.
But it's when it comes to DaVinci though, really DaVinci relies on for rendering. For rendering, it relies on the 3080. The 3080, oh man, it just tears through rendering.
Hey Jim.
Hey Jim.
Welcome to the show.
So, well, back to the accessories. You're going to talk about accessories for all the GoPros and the Osmos and stuff. And I know I have tons of them.
I got this for the this will work on the GoPro 5 and the 7. and what it does is it slides on the top of the housing, where the part that holds the back on, it's that little thing that pops on. Anyway, it
Yeah.
slides on that, and it's got a slot in there where you can put either a flat panel LED or a Rode microphone on.
Anything with a cold shoe, anything with a cold shoe like mount.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really handy stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
most of the, well, a lot of that stuff, yeah, you're going to use it across the board. If you have an Osmo Action, you have a GoPro, you have a Pocket 2, even like a great big or DSLR or whatever, all that stuff is adaptable to it.
Yep.
I don't know about you. I carry way too much stuff around with me now. I'm carrying way too much hardware. It's like the last trip, it looked like ESPN in the house. It was insane. I don't know if the first vlog, if you looked really close when we were pulling down the loft, there's like a ladder to the loft. There was one shot where I showed the shelf behind Lori. And if you look carefully, you could see all the electronic stuff laid out, the drones and everything all laid out on this. It was like a shelf that was like 4 feet long, and it was just totally covered with cameras and drones and stuff and chargers, and holy crap. It's funny.
I've got a whole bunch of action cameras. I've got 3 SJ cam cameras. I've got 2
You
of
still use them?
The M10s. They kind of look like the GoPro Session.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah.
Do you still use them? Can you still use them?
I haven't used them in quite a while. I do use them for my underwater stuff.
Okay.
I made a little gadget that's a piece of wood with a GoPro mount underneath. And on top, I've got eyelets on all 4 corners where I tie a string to. So if I'm out in a lake or a river, I just kind of let it float and the camera's underneath.
Cool.
And it's kind of, and I got some
that's cool
shots. Go over to my fishing channel, you'll see some of the cool video that I've got from that.
Oh, Bill Rohn says he hasn't purchased a pre-built PC since 96. Dude, you're better than me. I think I built my first one in 2007. I built my first. It was a quad core. I think it was a Q6600 or something was the processor, but yeah, I've been building ever since. Yeah, that's building's way to go.
I started off with an XT, and then I upped it to a 386.
Yep.
And then I got away from the XT format and went right to the 486 and the early Pentium.
Yeah.
And then the last one I did,
a P90. I remember a Pentium 90.
This one was I think it was a Q. It was either a 6600 or a 6800.
That was a quad core. The 6600 was a quad core. Yeah, I remember that's the first computer I built when the IT guy where I'm working now, I was telling him I was building a machine to do video editing for the first time ever. And he's like, "Oh, you want to get this?" I picked out a processor. No, don't get that one. Get this one. And it was the Q6600. And and I was using Video Studio. I think it was X10 back then, which is why I ended up with Video Studio when I finally got into drones and stuff, because I got back into editing, and still crap.
Pentium 100.
Yeah, mine was a 90, Bill. You had the 100. That was pretty awesome. That was in the mid 90s, yeah. Then the Pentium 2 came out. Had to have that. I bought a Gateway pre-built with a Pentium 2 in it. That son of a gun was expensive.
Yeah.
And everything was proprietary under the hood of the thing.
Yeah, that's what sucked.
It did suck. I mean, it was really sexy looking. The case was really cool, and it came in the big cow boxes. I still have a cow box in the basement. Those were, remember the old Gateway cow boxes, because they were made like.
Well, remember Packard Bell?
Yes, I remember Packard Bell.
Packard Bell, and then there was Compaq.
Yep, compact. In fact, my Pentium 90 was a compact. Yep.
Hey,
That was
Chris
actually a good
Hope,
machine.
good to see you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. That gateway I was talking about, Bill, that thing was $3,000 in 1995.
Ooh, boy.
Good thing I was working a carrier making good money because I just, yep, no problem. Had a DVD Gen 1 drive in it too. That was like the first,
Wow.
yeah. It was crap too. But he makes a rap. It's so funny to think back of like we're gonna do this again if we live long enough. You're like, oh my god, I can't believe the 3080 was good. Kind of thing.
Packers from hell.
Packard Bell, yeah. What was it?
Yeah.
Bill Gates started in his garage, right? He started Dell up in his garage.
Oh, it was.
I
I
think
thought it
so.
was
Wasn't that
somebody
Michael
named
Dell?
Dell.
Didn't he start in his garage? And so did Steve Jobs. And
Yep.
those guys were.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Can you imagine? Maybe you did. I didn't. But imagine buying like Apple stock back in like
Oh, yeah.
the 80s.
Oh, how about getting Bitcoin when it first came out?
Or that. Or buying Yahoo when it first hit the scene. Remember Yahoo? Nobody, if you bought Yahoo when it first gets split and 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 split.
Yeah.
And yeah. Yep.
Well,
to have a flux capacitor, man, could be very valuable. Have a flux capacitor and go back and just grab a few shares of like, shit, buy 1,000 of them. Buy 10,000 shares of Apple back in time.
There you go.
Come on back. Yeah, I'd like to cash that in now. Yeah, nice. I'm gonna buy my own planet now. Have a nice day. Talk to Elon. Call my friend Elon Musk. Elon, how you doing, brother? Yeah, I want to go to Mars forever now. Get me there. I'm gonna fly the Mars drone up close. Give me the goggles. Where are the goggles? I know NASA has them.
I've got a newsletter that I get and emailed to me where it's one of those crypto newsletters, and they had a thing called what you could buy with Bitcoin X amount of years ago, where someone bought like 10 pizzas with 1 Bitcoin. Now you could buy
how many pizzerias?
Like 300,000 pizzas.
Yeah, like a few pizzerias. Buy a Pizza Hut. Like maybe just buy Pizza Hut. I want them all. Buy the Pizza Hut.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Now it's tanking. All the cryptos are just plummeting because of what Elon Musk said on Saturday Night Live.
Did that for him.
Well,
so it's a buying opportunity then maybe. It could be a buying opportunity. Buy low, sell high, right? Nobody wants to buy low. That's when you're supposed to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We always want to buy when it's top of its game. Oh, got to get it now. Got to get it now. No, dude. Got to get it when it freaking tanks.
Well, a couple weeks ago, Bitcoin was trading over 60K. Now it's down below 40K.
I'm sorry, Doc Murdoch said I need to have a Martian 107. Yeah. I wonder what it would take to get that. That'd be awesome, though.
You saw my video that I just put out on how to make money with you just got monetized on YouTube.
Oh, I saw it, but I didn't watch it because I got discouraged from the first minute because it was like, I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet.
Well,
come on, everybody, subscribe to me. You already did. Everybody out there already subscribed to me, so I can't ask them again. But unless YouTube unsubscribed you from somebody like me and Art, they're up to no good. YouTube, you have to double check all your subscriptions that matter because those slime balls are unsubscribing people from us. I know they are.
Well, Chuck, it's about that time. It is time to spin the wheel for toffee. So everybody in the chat, pick a number between 1 and 50, and I will spin the wheel. The
And
winner
only
will get a box of this yummy Enstrom almond toffee.
ooh, and only one number per person. And pay
Yes,
attention to
only
the other
one
person's
number.
other people's numbers. No duplicating. No second chances. We're cracking down because Lori's mad. It says the toffee hoax of 2021. I'm sorry, Art. It's funny. I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, only whole numbers, no integers, no
no decimals,
2.1,
fractions, whole
no
numbers.
fraction. Yeah.
Prime numbers are okay though. You can pick primes.
And
look, there's James.
There's James. He's number 11 this time.
It's
all right, Steel Man. Yeah, I could do that. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get the wheel on. Share a screen.
It's been like in the 40s, hasn't it? The wheel's been like in the 40s for some reason. Don't know why. Oh, we're gonna do it.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, no
No more bets.
Numbers.
No more bets.
All right.
No, I'm kidding.
Bets.
Can put one in.
All right.
Hurry up. Put them in.
The gate
Get them
is
done.
closed. It's time. It's time to spin the wheel of toffee. Excuse me. All right, here we go. We're going to spin that wheel for the big prize.
All right, I said no more bets, so we know the cutoff this time, Art. Hey, it's in the 40s again. Son of a gun. I think Acrisho got it, I think. Unless, no, Chris Hope's 43. Oh, wait. 10 toes, 42.
10 toes.
10 toes. He's a double-time winner, isn't he?
Congratulations, Tom. You are the big winner.
Look at that. Way to go, man. There's some toffee going to OKC.
Actually, Bartlesville.
Oh, Bartlesville. Okay, my bad.
Yep. Cool.
Yep. Off to the frickin' great state of Oklahoma, where everything's red. They have like that clay soil, don't they? Where everything is kind of like reddish, almost like Mars. It almost looks like Mars.
Mm-hmm.
It's flat too.
Yep.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, he won again. I think he did win before.
Oh, he's won a bunch. Remember, I used to do the toffee trivia, and he kept winning. And it's like, and that's why I went to the
some guys
the
all the
wheel.
luck. Yeah. Some guys have all the luck, like Rod Stewart. Some guys have. Actually, that was a cover, wasn't it? Who did that song originally?
I don't know.
It wasn't him, was it? I thought it was a cover. Who in the chat knows? Anybody in the chat know?
Hello, Marcus. Welcome to the show. Idaho Quadcopter.
Yeah, 10 toes. It's I did not do enough flying when I was out there. In fact, I didn't do any flying out there. I'm such a goofball. I should have flown. If I go back, me and the drone are going to spend some quality time together in the air. Well, the drone will be in the air. I'll be on the ground, hopefully. But yeah, get some filming.
Well, next week I'm going to be doing a lot of flying.
Cool. That means you'll be doing a lot of editing after you get back.
I better get some more SD cards.
You know what I do? I carry this thing around. It's a 0.5 terabyte.
Oh, cool.
And then I just transfer everything from the devices to it. And then they're all in one spot. And then I get back and I plug this into the computer and I do all my DaVinci work from this dude.
Oh, cool.
But 0.5 terabyte, it's enough to That way you can get everything off the drones and stuff on a regular basis and
There you go.
one-stop
That's
shopping.
a good idea.
They're not very
What's
expensive,
that
Art.
called?
This is a G drive, but this is essentially an M2 card, I'm sure, inside this thing. It's, the M2 card's like a stick of gum.
Yep.
Or you can buy it. If you have an M2 card, you can put it in one of these. I have one of these where you actually install it in.
You know what? I do have one.
And then, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Very compact, and you can get a lot of stuff stored on it. Probably, if you have a terabyte, you're going to have probably more than you'd collect in a week, unless you're really crazy like me. But just a thought. And they're not super expensive, a few $100, but
right,
it's great for travel.
Yeah, that would be great to have.
I don't know. I worry about SD cards and stuff. Actually, all this electronic storage, you kind of wonder about, because it's all a little dicey. There's no warning. When it fails, there's just no warning. It's just like, gone.
Well, I maxed out the biggest SD card you could put on a Pocket.
Do you have a 128 in there?
256.
256? Okay, yeah. Lori's Action has a 256 in it. I tend to download every day though, so like at the end of our day, we'll get back to the hotel or the house or whatever, and I'll take everything off the devices and put it on that thing I just showed you. Get everything downloaded. Right. Yeah, because that's 256 should be plenty for a day though. The battery on the Osmo doesn't last long enough to fill 256 gigs of stuff unless you're going to charge it perpetually. It's like 2 hours.
Well, now we're just waiting for
James
to pop in.
Mr. Samsung repairman himself.
Some waffles right now.
Did you see Mark Rober's latest video with the mousetrap? I mean the obstacle course for squirrels.
No, I didn't.
Mark Rober. Oh, it's awesome. It's really good. That guy's a genius. He makes me feel so stupid. He's freaking genius. Yeah, if anybody in the chat hasn't checked it out, I mean, he has millions of subscribers for a reason, because his stuff is just epically cool. It's the best. This one's really good though.
John Olson, welcome to the show.
Hey, John. Yep. Yeah. This is the second one, Sunrise. The first one was awesome. The second one is twice as awesome. It's really cool. And he brought back the same cast of characters. It's like, was it fat, whatever the hell it was. It was a chick. I don't know if the first one, the girl turned out to be the squirrel turned out to be a female because it had nipples. And then, and she was pregnant. Yeah. Good stuff. He builds all that. He builds everything himself. I kind of want to take his class. He has that engineering class. He says whatever level of engineering you're at, he'll take you up a notch. So awesomer. Yeah. Oh, more awesomer.
Fat Gus.
Fat Gus, that's it. Yep. Fat Gus. Yeah. Yep. I watched that earlier today.
Yeah, I just watched girls in bikinis fishing.
Well, that's a great way to, have the blood leave the brain for a while. Since it's a fixed volume system, the blood has to leave the brain. Can't stay in both heads at the same time,
Well, I wonder if Brian and Darcy, they're probably watching our video. Well, Brian, should we go on that show?
They should come on.
Darcy.
We want to talk fishing. Art the fisherman wants to talk fishing.
Yeah. Talk about catching those mahi and
fish
mackerel.
Mahi is like Hawaiian for fish. I was kidding. Yep. I think my buddy told me as a joke once. I don't think it's really true. Ono is really good off of Hawaii. Ono is a really good fish. That's a good white fish. Mm-hmm. Mahi is obviously very popular and very good there too. Mm-hmm. I had sashimi there for the first time, I think it was 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. 2-piece fishing. Yeah, something like that.
Well, and that's the thing I like about Darcy's channel is that they cook the fish.
Yeah.
See how they cook it. And
that's cool.
They did one where they did sushi. how to make sushi.
Because that's an
Which
art in
is-
itself.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And some of those things you have to do, like, was it puffer fish? You have to prepare it just right or it'll kill you.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? She's got
She's
a
done it?
video on that.
Nice.
You got to be trained, specially trained for that.
Yeah, I imagine. I mean, that's like, don't try this at home kind of thing, but here's how it's done.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. Because like her iguana, I honestly, I couldn't sit through the iguana video. The minute they start chopping up the iguana, it was a bit much for me. I was like, that's just kind of, because I think iguanas are cool. So it's like,
take the legs off and the tail. That's it. It just,
they taste like chicken.
It's just like cleaning fish.
They taste like chicken.
Not that. Well, that's what they say. They say
everything tastes like chicken.
Chicken that's a little bit tougher to eat.
I said that about us when we were doing our last vlog. I said, I was reading the sign to Lori. I said, hikers taste like chicken. She's like, it doesn't say that. It's like, yeah, it doesn't say that, but it should. Hikers taste like chicken. I said that I think we were in the Caribbean and there was this place called the Soggy Dollar Bar where you basically had to swim from the boat because it was so shallow, swim the shallows to get to shore.
Yeah.
And it was called the Soggy Dollar Bar because you had to swim up the shore, so your money was all wet. And their motto was swim up, drink, swim back, repeat. Anyway, so we were swimming up the shore and there's like the lifeguard dude was close to the shore. And I was like, wow, tourists, the other white meat, the sharks. He starts laughing. Oh, it's pretty good. A couple of good comic moments for me. Probably not the first guy to say it, but it was the first for me. My eyes.
Yeah. You don't want to see me in a Speedo.
Art doesn't wear Speedos. He wears thongs, man. He goes all out.
Mm-hmm. I use a potato.
Nice. Yeah. Wear that elephant
I just
thing.
Gotta remember not to put it in the back.
You wear the elephant thing? Flies. Fill the whole trunk now, Art. Fill the whole trunk, brother. Load her up. Penetration.
It's like the Siamese elephant.
I used to have that thing.
Yes,
Spencer's
that's
Gifts.
right. Budgie smugglers.
Banana hammock. Oh, Bill, I can't erase that vision now. It's not good. We are not having an ArtCo drone solution swimsuit contest anytime soon. No. Yeah, it was Jels Van Dyke. Absolutely true. Yep, that's the place. It's like a screensaver. I have some really good underwater video from there too. I have to find it from my my Sony 1080i quadra sound camcorder that was in a waterproof case back in those days. I gotta find that footage.
Speaking, I was able to download video from this.
Yeah, you were saying it was successful. Good for you.
No audio.
How's it look?
No audio. Because I got the wrong. I have to get the S cable that has the RCA cables.
Yeah, you need. Okay, can you get it though?
Yeah.
You want the audio?
Yeah, I ordered those.
Okay.
So
I thought
they'll be here when I get back from vacation.
There you go. I thought we talked about that before, Art. The S video wasn't going to have any audio, and he had to get that like split out separate.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get her. It's cool.
Yeah.
That's how I'm doing yours. I have the S video and then the RCA audio coming in.
You know what I discovered? I did a video for. This is when I was running for State House. And I got this camera out. I went to the park by my house, and I was going.
Wait! I interrupt. Did you see what Steve Mack wrote? I didn't realize. There you go. It could be a whole new way to win toffee, Art. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I did mean to interrupt you, but I couldn't
Yeah,
resist.
that's right, Bob. The potato does go in the front. Should I
Hot dog
use
in the
a
bottom.
russet or a little baby red?
Go russet. You know you need it.
Well,
Unless
how
you were in the
about a
pool.
great big sweet potato.
Unless you were in the pool with George Costanza.
I am going to a little town called Bristol, Colorado, which is southeast Colorado. I have a friend that has a ranch down there. He's got a pond on his ranch that has huge bass, and the Arkansas River runs through his property. So I'll catch some cat.
I'm sorry. I'm reading the chat as I listen to you are like 10 toes. You don't think about 10 toes winning the bikini contest. Lori might win the bikini contest. Yeah. Yeah, she's got hope.
Yeah.
There was a day when I could have. Just saying.
Oh, was that for? Is that a 3-piece?
Oh, it really did happen though. I was in the Caribbean and yeah, it happened. There's proof somewhere. That was back when I was fit though. Good old
Yes,
days.
I will be flying the drone there. Let's see. There's a one ranch where this guy has a tractor that's on a spindle that's like 40 feet above the ground.
Oh, really?
Fly my drone around.
Cool.
There's water towers. Every town has a water tower.
Oh, which drone are you flying?
The Air 2.
Okay. The Air 2 has spotlight, correct? In quick shots or whatever you have, or your intelligent flight modes, you have spotlight.
Yeah, I think it does.
Aldrin was talking about that this morning on 2K Drones with us. He says, as I'll quote him, he says, "It is dope." So basically, you could lock in on like that water tower and start moving around it, and the camera will stay right on the water tower. So if you orbited it or something, it'll make your work like half as difficult or twice as easy.
Yeah, I think it has.
Yeah, try out Spotlight because I haven't done it yet. I've been meaning to now since we talked this morning. It's anybody in the chat? Anybody in the chat use it? Use Spotlight mode on like a DJI drone and had good success?
And there's some grain elevators.
That'd be cool stuff too. You know, it'd be fun to do a crane shot of one of those and then orbit it. So like do a crane shot, go up the side like this.
Yeah.
And then break away, edit it, and then do the orbit or something. You know, I mean, just play around, Art. Get some good shots, man.
Well, the last time I was down there, I had the Mavic Air, but you had to be careful because, you'd lose signal.
Yeah, you won't have that problem with the Air 2. That thing's rock solid
right.
with OcuSync 2. That thing's rock solid. That'll be great. You're gonna get some really good stuff. Yeah. Oh man, also, I'm looking for. I want to see your footage. It's gonna be good.
There is a Japanese internment camp nearby. Now I can't fly in the park, but I could fly outside and fly into it, where you can see the roads and you can see the foundations of where the buildings used to be. Yeah,
I've never I guess technically you can fly into a state park that way too.
Yeah,
but it seems a little dicey. Just be careful if you do that. Just make sure still be like in visual line of sight. Be close enough where you can see what's going on. That's all. Because you don't want to lose the drone for one thing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine your battery goes low and you're over there and you gotta land. You're not, because taking off and landing is what's prohibited. So your drone goes and auto lands and oh man, fail. Orange jumpsuit time for Art.
Yeah.
Not good. Hold up your numbers. Click.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no. Yeah, turn to the left or turn to the right. It looks like you've done this before, Art. Is there something we should know? You've done this
Bob
before.
M said that it would not come down until I flew.
Sounds like a sensor
Exactly.
deal.
Yeah,
Turn the sensors off, maybe it come right down.
right.
Sounds like the sensor saw something. Was it?
Oklahoma does not. Ooh,
Oh, I like Oklahoma a lot more now.
yeah.
No, I'd love to like orbit some oil rigs and stuff, which I'm sure would be very difficult to do without getting it shot down. But wouldn't that be cool? Those oil rigs are so awesome looking.
Well, you can go downtown Oklahoma City. There's oil rigs.
Working ones?
Well, no,
They're the
like
fixed
right
ones. They're just
outside
on
the Capitol
display.
there.
Yeah, it's a really, OKC is really pretty, and at like the fly that at twilight when the lights come on in the buildings, they have the crosses in them and everything. That'd be really cool.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really pretty. The cityscape's really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, and Bricktown, as you know, is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Did you see Johnny Bench, the Johnny Bench statue in Bricktown when you were down there? Do you remember that, or wasn't that there then?
No, I don't recall that.
That might not have been there. There's a statue of Johnny Bench, who's I'm an old Cincinnati Reds fan from the 70s, so that was kind of cool. I have
Sparky Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the manager of the Tigers when they went to the World Series.
Yep, Sparky Anderson.
Kurt Gibson was on that team.
I don't remember Kurt Gibson.
Yep.
I remember Joe Morgan, Jose Concepcion.
Yep. Johnny Bench, Pete Rose.
Pete Rose, of course. Yeah, third baseman, Pete Rose. The old, the frickin' belly flopper slide.
Yeah.
It's the classic. I used to get yelled at for doing that. That's the one thing I did.
Who?
What?
Remember Kent Tekulve? I think he played for Philly.
No, is that? Nope.
And then there was Vita Blue and Blue Moon Odoms, Catfish Hunter.
Catfish Hunter. Yeah, for the Red Sox.
Yep.
He was a big ass pitcher. That dude was huge.
Yep.
What was it? The other Luis Tiant? He was another big ass pitcher. That wasn't he? Those guys, they didn't have the frame to pitch. They were just monsters. I can't believe they were. It's just a different time.
Crunchy shrimp roll. Ooh, cool.
Is that Bill?
Yeah, that's Bill.
Bill. What you doing, man? We got cut off earlier because my wife was yelling at me. I was in the doghouse. I did something bad. It's what I didn't do. I was in trouble. Bill was trying to chat with me. I'm like, dude, I gotta go. I'm getting yelled at. I gotta go. It was true.
Well, I've got
it's all better now.
A friend from high school who played Major League Baseball, played for 5 different teams, and he's got a World Series ring.
Who is it?
Brad Havens. He played for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
How cool is that?
And that was the team that Kurt Gibson was on that team.
Okay. So he didn't sell his ring? He kept it?
Yeah, I think he did keep it.
Nice.
Yep.
Good for him.
He's got a window business in Michigan called Major League Windows.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, here's the story. He wasn't active when the World Series was playing, but because of
he's on the team.
Kurt Gibson, who was also from Michigan, he got the other guys together and they petitioned to get Brad a ring.
That's really nice.
He played for the the Dodgers earlier in the year.
Yeah, that's really nice.
And it was towards the end of his career, too.
Yeah. Again, very, very cool.
Played 9 years.
It's like long. How long is the typical Major League Baseball player's career? Imagine pitchers go first, catchers probably second, because catchers lose their knees, pitchers lose their arms.
Yeah.
How long do they usually go for before they fall apart?
I think 5 to 8 years.
Yeah, because your rotator cuff gets tore to hell. And
when
you're pitching, your knees go to hell.
Elbow.
Yeah. I know my...
Look at Mark Fidrich. Remember Mark Fidrich? The Bird from Detroit.
Yeah.
He would groom the mound. He'd go out there and groom. That was his shtick, and he was fantastic. His first year, his rookie year, then second year, he just terrible.
Yeah. Well, my one of my coworkers he's a literature guy for us, and he used to pitch. Jay Johnson. And he's having rotator cuff problems with not his throwing arm, but his opposite arm. I mean, his opposite shoulder. Yeah. And we were talking about it. I said, dude, I wonder if it's because when you pitch, it's like, say you're right-handed and you throw with your right arm, you're counterbalancing with your body on the left side. So is it possible that that's actually more damaging? Kind of like when an engine's running at high revs with no load, it's like really tough on the pistons and the connecting rods and stuff. Is that true for the human body too, where there's no load on the left side and there's a lot on the right? The right side takes it better than the left side. And he's like, I wonder.
Chuck is not a doctor, but he plays one on
YouTube,
the internet.
Yeah. I'm just curious, just thinking like an engineer, like how parts work and stuff. Because everything that we engineer as humans is God's work already. We're just copying it all, everything.
Yeah.
Like I just wonder if that's like, anyway. Yeah. Sorry. Drone pilots lose their minds. Yeah. Thunderbird 6. Yeah. There's a little bit up here still. A little bit. Maybe.
Well, you know how Mark Fidrich died? His truck fell on him.
For real? Or are you just effing with me?
Yeah, he was working on his truck and evidently it fell and crushed him.
I work with another guy who's a farmer and his tractor rolled on him and he lived. So I don't mess with that guy because if a guy survives a tractor roll, you don't mess with him.
Yep.
Oh wow, cool trivia.
Yep.
So wow, all this crazy stuff we're covering. So what other gizmos are you gonna get for your pocket before? Or are you just gonna use it now? You have enough stuff. You're gonna put it into use. You can use it this coming week.
I'm still waiting for the adapter that'll take the Rode mic and I can plug it into my GoPro.
Oh, okay, yeah. The one, like I told you, the one for the pocket is about $40 if I recall. And it's kind of goofy art because it's not like it's not L-shaped. It's not a 90. It sticks straight out the bottom of the pocket, and it's like 2 inches long. It's kind of goofy.
Wow.
Do you have the Wi-Fi adapter for the pocket or no?
No, but I do have it on a watch list. Maybe I'll go and get it.
Well, if you're connected right up to your phone, you don't need it. You're directly connected.
That's
really not.
That's true.
Yeah. And you can use a USB-C cable to go from the side of or from the bottom of the pocket. You can go into your phone. Like if you use the selfie stick.
Right.
Yep. You can go into the bottom too. You can go in the side or the bottom.
That's right.
So you could go USB-C to USB-C from that to an Android phone and it'll connect the same way. So like if you got like an aftermarket selfie stick or whatever, and you wanted to connect your phone to it and there's a place to put the phone, you could do it that way.
Cool. I'll give it a try.
So that's because it is nice to have the big screen sometimes. And it's even the DJI selfie stick is pretty awesome because it has like the little button on it. You can move the gimbal around. Pretty handy. 10 years Czechoslovakia will still be hard to spell.
Well, you
If
don't
it
have
still
to worry
exists.
about that
The Czech Republic
because
now, right? Now it's easier to
they
spell.
split up. There's
Yeah.
Slovak and the Czech.
Czech Republic's easy to spell.
Mm-hmm.
Czechoslovakia, not so much. Gesundheit.
Mm-hmm. And all those countries are remnants of the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have never.
Wouldn't you like to be a ruler of a vast empire where you had multiple different languages and custom?
Sounds like a pain in the ass job, if you ask me.
Yeah. I think that was part of the reason why it
kind of fell apart. Yeah.
You know, here they are. They're in World War One, and they're battling the Russians and you know, they're fighting the Italians, and you got an army where everybody speaks a different language. I mean, think about how hard that would be.
What a cluster.
Where Germany, you know, you got an empire where everybody speaks German. Even, you know, in Western Poland, a lot of people there speak German. Because it was, at one time, it was East Prussia.
Is that why there's so much, so many people that are multilingual? Because of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Switzerland. They speak 3 languages.
we can't even handle one here in the United States.
Yeah. They speak French, German, and Italian, plus their own language. I think it's more of a conglomeration.
It's a hybrid language. I got to get over to Europe, man. I got to get over there and check out some of
Northern Italy, they speak German.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Really? You mean way up north?
Yeah, way up there by Switzerland.
Okay.
And the people there are blonde hair, blue eye.
So got a little bit of blending going on.
Yep.
It's a transitory part of Italy as you get close to Switzerland.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're interested in history, go over to Time Ghost History and watch The Great War. And it goes in real time from the beginning of the war all the way to armistice. And then not only that, but they do in between wars, going through the 20s all the way up to the beginning of World War II. Now they're doing World War II.
World War II.
And it's a really cool channel.
I have never been big on history, and it's to my own discredit that I'm that way. Well, that's pretty cool. I know, like, because Lori's dad was he was in the Navy for World War II, the tail end of it, which is pretty cool. He like enlisted when he was like 16 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, he was like at Okinawa and stuff.
Yep.
It's like
he had some really
good. Yeah, he had some really good stories. Yep. It's pretty cool. I wish we talked more, honestly. Shame on me. We talked a lot, but he told some really good stories. I wished I had time to listen to more. Crazy, man. Crazy stuff. Watching the bombs drop, you know, from the deck of the aircraft carrier, which is a flat top aircraft carrier back in the days. It's cool.
Oh, Bill's wife speaks 7 languages.
Yeah.
Because it was part of the Spanish Empire for 300 years, and it was part of the United States for about 50 years.
It's very cool.
And there were some islands that were British islands too. And then it was taken over by the Japanese for 4 years. So Bill, your wife is from the Philippines. Which island is she from? Is she from Luzon or the Visayas or Mindanao. My girlfriend, she's from Mindanao. She's in Zamboanga del Norte. Oh, Luzon. Okay, cool.
Yep, Luzon.
So, yeah, if you hang on, Bill, we're going to have James from My PI Dream. He lives in Lipa City.
He's shoveling down his breakfast as we speak.
Yeah, Nessie's probably saying, "Hurry up, James!
Hurry up.
Art's on."
Chuck's talking about Lori, and you're not talking about me yet. Get on there, you slacker.
James the Waffle King. Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. It was waffles last week. It's usually waffles. We got to figure out his. We got to get him predictable. Okay. Figure out we goes waffles, pancakes, waffles, pancakes. We gotta break the code, Art. We gotta figure it out.
There you go.
Gotta start tracking this stuff and see if it's like, the third Sunday morning of the month he does pancakes or whatever. We gotta figure it out.
Oh, I know where Bajau is. That is a really interesting city. That city is on Luzon, but it's up in the mountains, and it's at 5,000 feet. It's called the San Francisco of the Philippines because they get fog like San Francisco does.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yep.
There's another place I haven't been since I have a drone, or I've had a drone. I haven't been to San Francisco. I was supposed to get back to Napa Valley with the drone, but it didn't happen. They had those crazy fires going in the fall a few years back.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. He's the Waffle King and Samsung repairman now.
Mm-hmm. There's another LED channel specialist that I follow, Will Dosovich and his sister Haley, and they're from San Francisco, and they do a lot of drone footage from San Francisco.
It's an awesome city. I mean, I have a friend, Mike Miller. That's his channel too. His name's his channel. He's flown around San Francisco a lot. I keep trying to say San Fran. I know it's derogatory to San Francisco residents. I don't want to say San Fran, but he's flown San Francisco, and that is some of his footage is friggin' awesome. Yeah. It's such a beautiful city too. I'd love to.
Well, where Will and Haley live, they live in Nevada, which is, I think, in Marin County, just north of San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah. But they're half Filipino, and their grandmother lives in Mindoro, and I've been to Mindoro, and that's a pretty island, and so they've got a condo there in Makati and Rockwell Towers, and so Will, evidently his channel is doing really well. He's got 1 million subscribers.
Wow.
He's looking for property, so he was looking at a condo. It was like a huge 3-bedroom condo that was like on the penthouse floor.
Mm-hmm.
This place was huge. And converting it from pesos to dollars, it was $900,000.
Shy of $1 million.
Yep. But somebody bought the place before he could get it.
Really?
So they were looking at property that was in Batangas, I think, near the ocean. And I don't know about living near it'll be hot living there. Now where James lives, he picked a good spot. you know, where they're kind of sheltered from the hurricanes or typhoons, they call them there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was noticing his garage, his basement and garage are a shared space because like when he was doing the TV repair, you
Yeah.
could see his truck kind of like over
Yep.
to the right. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
because Lori was like, "Is that his garage? Did he convert his
Yep.
garage?" And I was like, "Yep, looks like he did. Look, in fact, not the whole garage because there's his vehicle's parked in right by the bar stools. There, it's kind of cool.
Yep.
I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking how cool it'd be to have like my Corvette in like my basement, like as part of my garage. Have like the car on
There you go.
display. It's kind of cool.
There you go.
You have a whole like motor theme going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the Quaker Steak and Lube. Remember that? Do you ever hear that chain, the Quaker Steak and Lube? Kind of like
Yeah.
that. Maybe put the vet up on a 4-post lift and have it like up. Be
There you
cool.
go.
Yeah, now we're talking
Mm-hmm.
money. Talking money now.
Yeah,
So yeah,
James is running a little late. It's almost 6:45.
I know he's gonna come on. I have to jump off. Does he know that? What's wrong with him? I won't even have time for
Yeah.
one James story the way we're going.
Yeah, that's right.
The average James story is like 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet you. Well, let's see. It's Sunday there, so I don't think unless the Samsung repair guy shows up today.
Oh, that could be. Then he'll be filming it because he was going to film the experience. So did he
Mhm.
watch? You know what? I was curious if he had watched the first TV. Well, this TV he was working on in the video. If he had watched it get repaired the first time, that's why he had such good insight on how to tear it down. Because he made it look pretty easy.
Yeah, I think he did watch him.
Yeah, I think he
Eric. Yeah.
did. Because it was cool though, because he got into great detail with the only thing he kind of went a little quick on popping the panel off.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing I thought was kind of weird. I'll ask him when I was going to ask him when he comes in, but I was thinking how he wanted the bezel to drop down around the screen. Remember that?
The what?
The bezel. I say bezel, you say bezel. The bezel. He wanted the bezel to drop down like away from the screen. So he put it up on he cut like the corrugated material out to put it on top of the TV on top of it. Why didn't he do that in the first place? Why did he do it later? That confused me. Anyway, that was the only part that confused me. I was like, I would have done it like first. I would have had like everything ready to go. So when I popped the bezel off, just bloop, drop down. Then there were like 6 layers of glass and paper and plastic and stuff, like for the diffusers and everything to make so the LEDs weren't harsh. That was kind of cool to see them peel it like an onion and take those all off.
Yep.
It's kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah. I still don't want to do it though. I'd rather just buy a new TV. Be like, well, the new Q90's out or whatever. So maybe we'll just crap can this one and get a sexy new one. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. 8K. Throw that thing out.
There you go.
Give me an excuse.
Get the smart TV.
Yeah, a new smart TV. With the what's the fanciest schmanciest LEDs of the localized dimming where pretty much almost like the LEDs are in really small like little groups.
Yeah.
So you get the really good dark levels, kind of like almost like OLED. That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's the magic right there. To get the dark levels, the black levels, like you get on a CRT or an OLED.
Another cool channel is D-Lab on YouTube, where this guy repairs guitar amplifiers.
Yeah.
Your dad would probably like this because he works almost exclusively with tube amplifiers.
Yeah.
And he does boutique amplifiers too, where what he'll do is he'll take an old radio and turn it into a guitar amplifier.
Wow. So a lot of those tubes are shared. They're all like numbered and everything, right? They had letters and numbers like U or S or whatever, and then like a number after them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just
there'll
assemble
be a
them
6L6 or a 5S7, something like that.
Yeah.
Because some are rectifiers and some are something else. Yeah.
Well, they all do the same stuff that transistors do. As this is before transistors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's pretty freaking cool. So, can you still get tubes? Does any? Or you
Oh,
just have
yeah.
to?
You can
Yeah.
get them on eBay.
Who
Yeah.
makes them? Chinese, probably.
Russia.
Oh, the Russians, of course.
Yep. Yeah, they're famous for their Slavtech tubes.
Because they're all vacuum
And they're
tubes. I mean, that's all old school
highly
stuff.
sought after if you're replacing tubes on your guitar amplifier.
I'm glad there's still demand for that because, you know, that's what drives the Russians is greed. Greed.
Mhm.
Money.
Oh,
Russians.
yeah. Diodes, triodes, and pentodes.
Yeah.
And then we have
Lions and tigers
tentodes
and
in the chat.
ten toads and pentodes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Good one. Doc Murdoch's full of he's full of information and detail tonight.
Yep.
Oh, really cool, man. Really? That's super cool. I dig it.
Well, Doc, you'll like this. My dad had a friend that had a staggered wing Beechcraft airplane. That's where it was a biplane where the top wing was behind the lower wing.
Oh, they were like staggered.
Yeah. And at that time, they were the fastest airplanes. They were faster than any airplane that the U.S. military had. And it was the first one with retractable landing gear. Speaking of retractable landing gear, all the way from Lipa City, Philippines, it's James, my PI dream. Magadang umaga.
Maga, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you good.
Yep.
We're a little AWOL today.
Yeah, I am. I apologize.
Big breakfast.
It was just a series of lots of things, starting with breakfast. Normally, you know, Sunday is waffle Sunday for us here.
Was it pancakes today or waffles?
No, well, it was waffles, and
yeah. So I'm gonna write this down. I got waffles for the 22nd. Waffles for last week.
But
we're gonna pick up on the trending here. Then we're gonna maybe we can give away art. Maybe we can give away toffee if we can guess what James ate for breakfast or something.
Hey, you're more into the guys in the comment section there. Hey, listen, I gotta tell you, I really try to wake up early so I don't miss anything. And even I will tell you how strict I am to my routine of watching your show. It's like this morning, and it's good. Well, okay. Anyway, this morning I've done it in the past. Is if I'm running late, like I was this morning, I actually slept in a little bit late, and when I jump in the shower, right across from the shower, we have one of the Alexa devices. We have one of those. We have what is it? The show, the Echo Show, right? And while I'm in the shower, because it's directly across from the shower stall, so I'll say Echo open YouTube, and then I'll tune into, and I'll be watching you guys at the very intro when you start. So from the shower. Good thing it's not, you can't see, because it's got a two-way camera.
We're kind of glad we can't see that in a way.
Yeah,
we're talking about maybe you want to enter the Speedo contest, though. I don't know.
I was just gonna say it falls right in line with your Speedo conversation this morning.
Super.
So anyway, I got started. I got started on time with you guys this morning. So I was listening to your topics of conversation, and then normally Nessa's still doing her stuff upstairs while I go downstairs and I start preparing the breakfast. And I went down there, and the first obstacle of the day, other than waking up a little bit late, is I open up the cupboard, the pantry. And I go inside there and I pull out what I think is the pancake mix, because it's the same. It's Maya. That's one of the ones that we like up here. It's Maya, my pancake waffle mix. And I pull it out and I open the box and I pull out the packet on the inside. And it's just like brown, chocolatey colored. I'm like, what is going on? Then I went back to the box and I look at the box and it says Choco something, another pancake mix or something. I'm like, well, we don't do that for waffles.
Ooh, chocolate pancakes.
Oh, and the first thing I thought, because there's so many problems when you order stuff over here, even on Lazada, if there'll be something, an item you get will either be the wrong item or the wrong size or the wrong color. And the first thing I did, and I shouldn't have done it, I shouldn't have made this, I blamed it on Lazada. I said, Ness, I said, Lazada sent you the wrong thing down here. We don't have regular waffle mix. She said, no, that's my, the chocolate. I wanted to try chocolate pancakes one day. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, but it took me, I sat there. Yeah. So I sat there for a long, no, not for waffles. I don't want chocolate waffles.
Ooh, chocolate, anything is awesome.
But you know what I've done in the past when it comes to both waffles and pancakes? I put chocolate chips inside there. You know, the dark, yeah, the Nestle's, whatever the
80-20s or whatever they are.
Oh yeah, those are awesome too. But I didn't want full chocolate waffles this morning. So
I love the semi-bitter chocolate with because it brings the semi-bitter chocolate with something really sweet like the syrup. Just works really great. It's freaking awesome.
And so that was like the second thing that slowed me down, other than waking up this morning. Then we sat down here and we ate.
Another roadblock, hurdle.
Then we ate, and I heard Art commit me to coming in there towards the end. It's like, oh well, we're waiting on Jen. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm like, oh, I guess I really got to do this. So I went downstairs and I brought everything up here. I brought it up here, and remember the problem I had before with nothing was working right on my Mac. Being a Mac, I'm like, what's going on? When I couldn't get any audio from this microphone inside here, so I had to do the reboot. I had to go through the whole reboot and bring everything back up. But here I am, and thank you for remembering me and inviting me on this morning. But I know we don't have much time, so I just want to kind of talk about a couple things. Because one of my favorite things about coming onto the show. And it's not about talking about Speedos, but it's show and tell time. Mm-hmm. So I got a couple of show and tell. I don't have a picture to share with you. Oh, what I wanted to do is.
By the way, did you fly your new drone yet?
I was going to ask. I'm glad you asked.
No.
Wow,
dude, I haven't. And it's not because
strong.
No, it's got nothing.
Strong this one.
Well, it's got nothing to do about being strong. I have been this week has been so busy, and it's not just my own projects. We got a lot of stuff going on here in the subdivision with regard to the bottleneck, our utility company upgrade here. We're cutting down all the trees. I'm the lead for the repair of the big clubhouse swimming pool. I'm trying to deal with that. I'm trying to work with our admin offices for modernizing our admin with doing cloud computing, file storage, and all this kind of stuff. I'm trying to set all that stuff up. So it's been a really busy week. So this is actually my day off. So I'm and of course I always love spending it with you guys here on my Sunday morning. But what I wanted to show you this morning was a couple of my show and tells. One of these has nothing to do with why my week has been so busy. I just want to show you, and I probably showed you this before. One of the things you brought up in your topic of discussion at the very beginning this morning had to do with GoPros. GoPros.
Yes.
And for me, I don't know, because I know at least Art I know has several of the models. I have four or five of the models. The 5, 6, 7, and 8. I have four of them. And but let me show you my first one. And this is what got me through about 300 episodes. And I'm going to show you the shape. I'm going to show you the shape of this GoPro that I have right here. It got me through. This is my 5. So I think Art has a 5 right now to use.
Yep, I do that.
I want you to look at this, and I want you to look at like the condition of
boy,
used, man, well used.
Oh yeah. Well, this got me through about 500. About 500 My PI Dream episodes right here. But you see all the rubber. Rubber for the
kind of getting rough and
you would never take this in any type of a live underwater situation now, because it's definitely
breached.
It's definitely breached many times over. But you see, and it's got like mold all over it, and I still use it. When I do a multi angle
camera multi-angle
a
thing.
shot. Yeah, when we have, because I have 4 of them, and I've actually done where I have 4 cameras set up for an interview and things like that.
Yeah, and you can go back in editing and post, and you can change angles and stuff. Like,
yeah,
very cool.
There you go.
I haven't done that. I haven't done that in a while, but I have used it for something like that. Well, anyway, I wanted to just briefly mention, like you guys were talking about before, GoPro is not perfect. It's kind of, for the people who have had GoPros, most of them will tell you it's a love-hate relationship, like some marriages. You know, it's kind of got some situations where you can't live without it because it's part of your vlogging or whatever type of a hobby that you have. But sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you get, and I've had this on every single GoPro, the 5, 6, 7, and 8. I've had overheating. I've had lockups. I've had, and I keep the update. The versions of the firmware are always updated. I always update everything on here, unlike my DJIs. But on these, I keep these updated. I've had the batteries on the inside. You see these little tabs? I don't know if you can see that here. I'm gonna see if I can pull this one up. There's most of the tab is broken off on this one right here. I've had to go online to on YouTube and find out what people have done. And so there's little hacks that you can do, putting tape and stuff like that to make your own. I've had the battery swelling, but that's normal. That happened with these type of batteries over time. I've had many times where I had the perfect clip, the perfect cut in that segment of that episode, and I got back, and there was no audio. There was no audio on that. And I just had so many issues. But
action time, baby.
Again, I don't think if I had to buy it again, I would buy it again. I'm a big fan of GoPro, but it's not action. It's not perfect.
I never owned a GoPro, but I bought Lori an Osmo Action just over a year ago, and the thing is bulletproof.
Yeah, and that
Pocket's fun. Yeah, I love the Pocket. I have 2 of those. They're awesome too.
Is that GoPro also, or is that a different company?
No, that's
DJI.
DJI Osmo.
That
DJI Osmo Pocket. Now the Pocket 2 is out. It came out in fall, or is it winter time?
It has you could change the connector. So
for an iPhone, it'd be Lightning or
USB-C or mini USB.
But the gimbal, you can control that gimbal just like you're holding a drone on a stick when you're filming, and you can get the most amazing cinematic stuff. Like I used one. I shouldn't even say it's in one. Anyway, I've used it to like film towers and stuff where I come up and I can rotate the gimbal and like you can give like that swirly kind of. You can do really artsy stuff. You can lock in the gimbal on a subject, and then as you move, the camera will follow, and you get that really sweet angle change and everything. Super artsy, very cool, great little piece of tech. I love that thing.
I had a subscriber that came to visit me back in 2017. And he purchased, I don't think it was the DJI, because I think GoPro makes one of those type of portable gimbals that does that. I don't remember the.
Well, there are a lot of gimbals that'll hold an existing camera, and one will hold the GoPro for sure. Yeah, you can get Well, I think this was at the very beginning, because this was 2017. You know, the camera market and the drone market since about 2016, 2017 has exploded. There are so many products available on the market today, but this was at the very beginning, and I'm pretty sure it was a GoPro product with the handle, with the gimbal. And what he did, I've seen those recently too. They do exist.
And he was visiting. He was over here with his wife, and they were visiting, and they were going back to the U.S. And he brought this over with him when he came over. And I have an episode that I used it in, but I don't remember what the episode is, what the number is. And he said, James, I'm going to leave this with you for a week. You use it. If you like it, he says, I'll sell it to you for the price that I paid for it. And because it wasn't available. It wasn't available over here. So what I tried to do, I tried to adapt it. And at the time, it was like at the very beginning, I don't even know. Maybe I just got my Phantom 4 Pro, but that has nothing to do with flying with the drone. So So I tried to adapt it to my building project here. I took it with me, and I was hoping that it would give me, because the 5 doesn't have the stabilization that the 6, 7, 8, and whatever. If there's a 9 now, it doesn't have nearly. Yeah, it doesn't have nearly as good as the stabilization. So you could even see from my shots back then, it could use a little bit more. And I used this, and it was great for that, but it was impractical for the angles and what I was trying to get into to do the details.
Too.
Getting down into construction. You know how I do my construction videos, and I go down and I focus right in on a nut or a bolt or a rebar or a diameter or a tool. And the problem with using those devices is when you carry them around and you're trying to go down, when you're going down, your camera is staying level. It's trying to stay level. So it was not something that was applicable to my type of filming. So I gave it back to my friend who was the one of the subscribers, and I thanked them, but I wasn't able to use it. I know there's a lot.
A gimbal. There's an adapter where you could change the gimbal on it.
Yeah, there was a lot on there.
Art, you can get the this is the gimbal from the gimbal little nub here. Can you see it?
Yeah.
This is from the Pocket 2. It works with the Pocket that you have, because I have the original Pocket. I'm using the Pocket 2's gimbal because you can go in 4 directions. The one that's available for the Pocket is a wheel like this.
Yeah, that's right.
See the wheel? But you have to flip the switch to go. Oh, I can't get to it. You flip the switch to go left, right, or up, down with the gimbal. So the nice thing about the wheel is it has some tactile feel. You can go really slow with the gimbal or fast, depending on how fast you move the wheel. I can't even hold this thing so you can see it. It's so hard. James, I admire your technique in doing this kind of stuff because I suck at it. But the other one that I showed you, this one is kind of a fixed speed, and it's kind of a little too fast. It's not like cinematic. It kind of moves. The gimbal moves kind of.
Well,
you have choices.
Well,
you have choices.
Those are nice, but with the advent of the new technologies for stabilization and all, just me and my cameraman Lefty here, we've been able to really get good stable videos inside there without any of the jitteriness like the NYPD Blue type of action going on in the live action
stuff, old handheld stuff.
Yeah,
cool.
So it actually works good, and I've been happy with it. So I don't see for me any of those type of devices in the near future. Maybe later on for some other project that I need. I won't cancel it out. Oh, I also wanted to show you what has also been keeping me extremely busy over this week, and it's not so much what I'm going to show you right here, but it's the preparation and the planning and the design and the detail and everything like that for it. But I made a mistake. I put something on Facebook. I thought I was posting something. I don't understand Facebook. I don't know why I'm just having such difficulty with Facebook. I'm thinking when you post something, I thought I was sending a private message to somebody and it went out to the world. And some people can get in a lot of trouble with something like that. But this one was, I was posting.
What it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to secure some resources for or some building material. I'm trying to get some wood. So I went to my good friend Edgar, who has that nursery. You've seen me go to his nursery in Rosario, and he's trying to help me out get some wood. So I sent him a material list, and then I sent him a model. I sent him a model of what I'm working on. I said, this is what I'm looking at. And I thought I was just sending it to him, and then it went to the world. It went on the main page, and I'm getting all these people are sending me these comments about, oh, that's so cool. Or what is that? Is that your doghouse? What is? And it's actually this. It's actually this. This is a model that I'm working on right now, and it's to scale, and it's exactly to scale for a pavilion project that we're going to be building in place of the Baje Cubo in our backyard. Nice. And this is just the skeleton, and it's got all like the 6x6 post, the 4x4 post, like the 4x10s, 4x8s. It has the king post that you do in the front that does the securing, the web bracing that goes along with the king post, everything. And what I did on this project right here, and it's even got the markup down here where the swimming pool is down here, and the garden and the coconut tree. Cool. Yeah, and the coconut tree and everything, including the bottom right here for the pad that it's going to sit up there. It's all exactly to the dimensions. And I will be doing, you'll see, I will be doing an upcoming video on this one. I've already archived some of me building this. Also gave me an opportunity to play with a couple of new tools that have been if you've been looking at my videos and you see in these boxes that are unopened in the basement. I opened my new DeWalt table saw, and I wish I would have done a box opening and a review of that, because I've had many table saws over my hobbyist carpentry career, and this is by far the most professional and the closest thing to a commercial table saw. And I'll bring that up later on with the model number and all what I have down there. And I also, what was the other? I bought a new planer. I bought a Makita. I bought a Makita planer that will handle up to about 6 1/4 inch. So for the 6x6 posts, if I get raw material, I can plane down all everything that I need to go inside there. It'll go up to, I think, 12 inches wide by 6 1/4 inches high. So for the material that I get, I'm not sure what I'm getting, because they'll be taking some trees down, and then I'm not sure what the condition is that's going to come to me, because the way they do things over here, if you get rough material, it's just cut with a chainsaw. They go out in the woods, they cut down a tree, and they have these steady, I can't believe how good these guys are. And they just cut all the material that you need, and then you clean it up when it comes back. You take a planer, and then you put it together. So so the whole thing with this model, what helps you with modeling is you can foresee problems that you might not know until you actually get into a build. And if you're limited to an exact amount of wood that you have, and you've cut something wrong, there you go. You have to buy either new wood, or it depends on, because there's no spares on this project that I have. I sent out my list, and it's the exact thing.
Exactly what you need. You can't do the same thing on like a CAD program, or is it just it's just more tactile and more? It's just.
Oh, you could. You definitely know what I mean?
Could. But if you prefer to do it old school, like the modeling, I respect that. That's very cool.
Well,
I'm just curious. Whoa, there goes my camera out of focus. Look at that stuff.
Well, I will tell you right now, I'm not a CAD expert, so I'm not even a CAD novice. I haven't gotten into that yet.
You're just a CAD.
I'm just a CAD, a non-CAD. But I would like to get into that someday. But so this works out the best for me. What was that?
But are you gruntled?
Am I gruntled? I don't know. Am I?
It's the opposite of
disgruntled. Gruntled, disgruntled.
Oh, gruntled.
Yeah,
gruntled.
I learned a new word.
He's been studying for his SATs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Are you running for an office again or something? I saw that and a couple of things I didn't realize. I saw some old post on you. I looked at some that you were running for like Congress or something in Colorado. State House.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think
Art Carlson for president.
I think you should have a whole episode on that one topic. It's on itself. So anyway, what I wanted to get, and I don't want to cut you off on that, because again, I would really love to spend some time talking with you about that whole process, of the political process, and some of your experiences. Yeah, I think you should share that. But for this, what this modeling did for me, what I did, I have a plan, and again, it'll be part of. I have a plan. I have a plan for this pavilion. As a matter of fact, you can pay for plans, or there are many free plans that are out there that are available for you. The only thing I think sometimes with a free plan, you might see an error somewhere, and when you have to be very detailed, I mean detailed down to millimeters or something. In the case of my little project, my little modeling project here, or when you go to the big, when you actually build the actual project that you're working on, you want to make sure that you're as accurate as possible. So by modeling and checking out, by doing this right here, you can see if there are any errors inside here. So what I did for this project right here, I went from the plan. I converted the plan to a 1/12 scale size for modeling. So this is 1/12 of the size of the actual project. And then I converted the inches into millimeters. It's a very simple process, so that I could catch anything that might be wrong in the calculations done by the planner, by the architect of this. And I found one major problem inside there, something which is the tie beam. The tie beam is this in the front, okay?
Right.
That goes from these two posts on the end. These are called wall plates. They go all along the back that support your rafters. So I found on this one right here in the design for this particular, it said it was I think 133 inches cut to fit. That was it, 133 inches. Then I went back inside and I started looking at some other measurements inside there, and from the center of that, well, I'm not going to go too detail because you know how I do get too detailed. So what I found a discrepancy that was off by like 120, 30, like 13 inches. 13, big,
Ooh,
huge.
Yeah, that is big.
And if you're cutting something like a 6x6 or a huge post,
expensive if you screw up for one thing,
or 6 or 4x10 or something like that, and you make a mistake, especially if it's like if you cut it short,
you're screwed.
On that one, you could
expensive. Lumber is crazy expensive.
You could waste $100 or $150 just on one miscut on that.
And lumber, I don't know how it is in the Philippines, but it's ungodly expensive here in the States. I mean, it's the same for you.
Yeah. Well, it's gone up. I noticed even in the Philippines. I noticed the pricing over the last 3 years, which it kind of runs in line with what's going on in the U.S. over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
The pricing on lumber has just gone phenomenally high,
skyrocketed, man.
And I got to tell you, for me, my belief is I think a lot of price increases are driven by the industry. I believe there are artificial shortages that are out there sometime. And again, this would probably be more for Art's conservative talk.
His tomorrow night deal.
Yeah, his tomorrow night deal, but. Personally, I believe that there are market-driven shortages, whether it be with oil or natural resources such as maybe ore or wood, lumber, and things like that, that help the industry themselves increase in their profits. And I think that, and unfortunately what happens, again, this is my belief. Just this is according to the way I think. I think certain markets force other markets to do the same exact thing because we're a world economy driven type of a market. We're a world market
balance, kind of.
So if the U.S. does something like that, whether it be what I suspect some artificial, I'm not saying all, because there are things that are happening right now, especially with the pandemic and the lack of the people that are working and the ability to go out and get stuff. And there's some validity in why we have some of the shortages. But if you do have something that's an artificial shortage, which personally I think this chicken wing shortage you guys are having in the U.S. right now,
the chicken wing shortage.
I think there's something, a little truth somewhere inside.
Coffee shortage.
Yeah,
there is a chicken shortage.
Yeah. So anyway, I think what happens is
when one Buffalo is screwed. Run for your lives. That's just down the road for me. Buffalo.
When one market as large as the U.S. is, or if they were to do something in China, some of the big suppliers around the world, when they do something, I think that it's a trickle down thing, and it affects a lot of other markets, which is one of the reasons why I think some of the wood prices here in the Philippines have gone up so high as well. So,
yeah, I think he's right. There was a little discussion on the conversion from metric to English units. You probably saw that in the chat.
Yeah. Well, I don't have my chat window, Brian, to be able to see you on my little 13-inch screen.
I'm going to build a Lego Hubble to go with my Lego Space Shuttle Discovery kit that just showed up. Yeah.
So I just want to make a comment. You know what this is made out of?
No.
It's mahogany. No, it's mahogany. It's all
really
mahogany.
Nice.
And where I got the wood for this is we're going through a bottleneck. It's called Bottleneck is our utility company. We're getting ready to turn over electric grid. We've been here for, 12, 15 years, the subdivision. And normally after the first year to 2 years, any developer, after he's built the roads inside the subdivision, the sewer pipe system, he is actually responsible for setting all the electrical posts. They do that, and what they do is then they turn it over within a reasonable amount of time, usually within a couple of years. They turn it over to the utility company, whether it be the water utility company or the electric utility company. Well, our subdivision, which I just found out being on the board of directors here, over the 12 to 15 years that this has been here, they never turned it over. They never turned it over to the utility company. So anything that breaks, it has to do with the electric grid inside here. Once the developer turns it over to the homeowners association, the HOA, because that's normally who takes over all the responsibility of the day-to-day maintenance of any type of developed community, then anything that would have broken with the electricity would have been the financial responsibility of the HOA. And our people aren't going to want to spend, I don't know, $7,000 for a transformer You know how often things break here with electricity because the electricity is so bad over here. So we did an initiative. We went to the developer, several of us, and I kind of went off on another topic because it had to do with trees. But I'm telling you how what's happening right now, why the trees are available. So they had to cut down a bunch of trees before we can turn it over. Before we can turn it over to the local utility company, we were required. They came out and they circled all these trees that have to cut down that are directly underneath power lines. So they did. So we hired somebody to cut down all these trees in preparation for that. So that we had the trees cut down. All the major lumber for that has been donated to the people who are cutting it down, which is our local barangay. It helps the people in local barangay, but it also gave us a very competitive cost based upon our bidding from different places. We got the cheapest cost to them, but we had to donate the wood to them. So when they come in, what they do is they cut up all the wood as they're taking down the trees, and then they sell it or they use it inside, and that helps out the community. The barangay gets the money for that. So, but when they cut these pieces of wood, when you go to a lumber mill, regardless of where you go to, there's prime pieces of the wood, which is the stuff closest to the center. That's your straightest, with the least amount of warping that you have inside. And then the stuff on the outside near the bark, it's normally discarded. But sometimes that wood will hold maybe an inch to an inch and a half in the center part of the tree that's going to be thrown away or burnt. That's actually good for doing models. So what I did, I went out and I grabbed, and I have that planer, that new Makita planer I told you about. I planed all the bark off of it, and then I took my table saw and I cut it down to manageable pieces, and I was able to cut all these mahogany, and mahogany is a desirable wood. It makes beautiful furniture, and that's what's going to be. That's pretty much. You see, the whole skeleton is done on my pavilion project.
James, what are you going to do with the model? Are you going to use it in the pavilion for like a wine rack or something cool like that? I mean, you should do something with it. It'd be really cool to like incorporate it in your new design.
I think I am. I think I'm going to maybe build a case or something somewhere for display, and just say, because this is a process. The whole thing is a process.
Yeah.
I talk about goals, planning, and execution of plans. Well, this is my goal was to build the pavilion. My plan was to build the model, to get all the kinks out, make changes, and then build it. And then that'll be the next step inside there. So I got to get all the materials. But yeah,
the wine rack. Make it a wine rack.
Oh, there's a lot more. Excuse me. There is a lot more that meets the eye to what's going on with this in the near future, because this is just the skeleton. This is the basic. And a lot of people, they will build in their backyard, and this is all they'll build, right? Well, of course, with a roof on it. There'll be a roof on it. And that's all I have. It's just an open air, just a sheltered cover. Hence the name pavilion. But we're going to beef this up a little bit, and I don't want to give away the features that we're going to be building in this, because that'll be some upcoming episodes that will be coming up. But I'm hoping people will follow me with this, just like we just did the swimming pool. The swimming pool build. Yeah, I'm hoping we'll get a lot.
Goldberg, cool little freaking Inspector Gadget type things happening.
Oh, there's gonna be such neat stuff in this.
I'm looking forward to this one. I'll pay attention. This is right up my alley.
So
Smart Pavilion, James Smart Pavilion.
Yeah, there's gonna be some neat stuff, and that will probably be, other than a couple more little trees, if I can find some spots in the backyard. No, we're not gonna do it. We're not going to do solar panels on here. No, I don't think. No, I don't think we're gonna.
No,
but
don't let me reveal. Have you reveal anything? Just keep going. Just go with it. It sounds like a really cool build story. It'll be good.
But it's fun. Because I'm not a concrete person. Even though I worked with the build here, I was involved in every action of the build of Villa Feliz here. My family's background is home construction made out of wood. We built in Florida and South Carolina. That's where we were building my father's business. So I'm familiar with this. Cool. I'm familiar with all this type of construction right here. So it's fun. I'm really excited about getting back into my comfort zone. So that's what we're going to be working with right here. Anyway, that's my show and tell for today, the GoPro and my pavilion project.
Lori was wondering as we were watching the TV repair video, she's like, was James a technician or something? What's his background? She was asking me.
Well, yeah.
Really knowledgeable. That's what Lori was saying.
I know Lori's listening probably in the comments or watching.
I haven't seen her. She's been, I don't know where she is.
But you can let her know. If she's not watching, you can let her know. My background it's extremely technical. I worked as well for 20 years active duty in the military. I was all technical. I did NDI, non-destructive inspection. NDT,
we talked about this before. How stupid of me! I'm like, my short-term memory failing me again.
But that's not that wasn't really what that was a job. I needed a job, and that's what I did then. But I always wanted something technical. Then I spent 15 years doing satellite communications, doing all the way down component level, going to IC chips on boards and mainly electronics. And then when I got done with that career, and I moved on to my next career. Excuse me.
Swallowed a bug.
I had to do a bug. It was a bug. I had to do the art, the art and music. So when I got done with that, I spent another another 15 years in the engineering field doing network engineering and systems engineering and integration engineering. And the integration engineering was my favorite. And it's doing these little projects right here, designing, building prototypes and things like that. So anything that has to do with breaking into electronic box, like TVs and stuff like that. That's, I always I'm always excited about little projects like that. Now, I mean, even opening up the iPhone to replace the battery or something. And so I get excited.
Wow, I used to get excited doing that. Now it's a chore. It's like, I gotta get the Motorola open. I gotta pop open a phone and swap the battery because I'm not gonna throw out the phone. I gotta replace the battery in it.
But I heard you talking. I did hear you. I was listening to you in the background while I was eating breakfast or getting ready to set up, and I heard you say, Lori, or you had the question about why did I do something during the removal of all the screens.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I was wondering the sequence. I was wondering why you didn't put the TV on top of the corrugated material initially, so it was like lifted up a little bit. Maybe you just wanted the stability of it being flat on the surface to start. But I was like thinking, okay,
and that's why. And the only reason, and you could use cardboard. I just used that polycarbonate
so the bezel would drop down out of the way.
Yeah, yeah. So I watched how other people do things. So I'm always what I do isn't always is absolute. There's so many ways of reaching your goal on any type of a project. There's no one way that's perfect. Some ways are better than others. So when I do something, I always look at the way other people do things. And what I did when I was watching how other people approached replacing those LED backlights inside these type of TVs, I always saw them struggle at one point, and it's in every single episode. And a lot of people, what they do is they'll mask it. You won't see it. They'll jump a sequence, and you won't see the difficulty they were having doing, like taking the bezel, dropping the bezel down
out of the way.
Yeah, so you got the display screen, you got the bezel that's the next layer lower, and they got the whole thing laying down, or they're leaning the TV screen up,
awkward.
and they're doing this, and it's so awkward.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, to me, the way I think, why not support the screen, the display screen? The bezel is on the outside, and it's got to drop down.
It was genius, dude.
And you just you only need a half-inch worth of space inside there.
Yeah.
You just drop it down, and then boom, it just drops right down nice and neat. Nothing breaks.
Yeah. And the other thing I found fascinating was I told ours, like peeling an onion with all the different layers to like diffuse the light from the LEDs, because those LEDs are super harsh. They have all like diffusing material and everything, and you'd like peel it like an onion. It's like, oh, here's one layer, there's another layer. It's like, holy shit, there's another layer.
And something I didn't mention, and I went back after I was doing post editing to release that video. Something I wish I would have done, and I wish I would have made a comment. Make sure that when you're peeling off all these layers, you
keep track of them,
and you keep track. Or what I do,
reverse order. You took them off and put them down. The bottom one was the last one to go on, so it was like first
So what
off,
I do when I'm pulling it off, I lay it over onto the next table exactly like that. And the next layer, I and I lay it over like that. That way you're never out of sequence, or you have nothing upside down, or because some of those have a different the texture of the screen is different.
They're
from
critical.
One side might be
I'm
smooth,
sure I'm sure that's all critical, because it's all about diffusing the light in just a certain way, so that you get a nice even spread across the screen.
Yeah, and I didn't put that on, and I wish I would have put that. But sometimes you do think and it's always hindsight. Now
it'd be hard to edit. You could add a note in the beginning, can't you? You could add like a note. I think you can edit the video and add like text on YouTube.
Yes, you can. Yeah, and that's what I normally do. But that one, sometimes I feel I'm time sensitive when it comes to releasing certain things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it.
And sometimes, what I do sometimes to make my schedule, I get it. I push it a little bit before it's actually ready for prime
time. And then there's
an
oh crap moment.
And yeah. But I think it's going to be a good video. Now, and I will tell you something right now, as far as being successful in YouTube for monetization, one of the biggest sources of revenue for YouTubers who are making the big money are these technical DIY how-to. And if you do it right, keep
them engaged.
Those are your money makers right there. Because I have, 800, 900, I don't remember how many videos I have, but there's only about a dozen videos that I have that consistently, month after month after month,
like evergreen stuff.
They bring in the same, or every month it keeps going up and up and up. Because if you watch maybe some of my build, and you go to episode 72 on my build or something like that. Now each month I'll get small amount of viewers, new subscribers that are coming that haven't watched these, but the ones that show like I tell you, my biggest money makers on my channel are my how to maintain a Mitsubishi air conditioning unit. I have one of the split units, and they're very popular. They're very popular. They're taking the place of the big central heating and air conditioning units now. They're more efficient. They're
multiple fan coils in the space.
Yeah. So
cool and yep.
So I did a maintenance. I think my number one video out of all the videos that I have is that one. It has to do, and it's nothing as much as showing you how to get into the head unit, the wall mounted unit, go inside,
the evaporator,
inspect it, clean the evaporator tube that goes down where all your water drips outside, because that's something that normally about every year, 2 or 3 years,
clog up, and then they back up, and then the drain pan fills up, and a mess.
And people pay a lot of money. They pay a lot of money to have a service person come out there and do a very simple task. So what I did was, I'm like, I know this, and I know that the maintenance people, the service, they hate me. I almost get like death threats from these people.
That's like replacing the run start capacitor on the condensing unit, because that's like that's a $20 part that they whack you like $400. My parents died. I'm like, oh, it's a run start capacitor. I went over with a new capacitor, and
yeah. Anyway,
I think
they
in the
hate it
U.S.
when we do that stuff.
I think the average service fee for somebody to come out and clean your evaporator tube to stop that water dripping inside your house is probably about $150. And it literally for somebody to go inside there and do that, who has just the small amount of technical skill, you don't have to be. You're not going in changing components out. You're removing the cover. There's a lot of people are afraid just of undoing a few screws on the front
Are
panel.
those? I didn't watch your video. I didn't watch your video, James. Are those internally trapped or not?
What do you mean internally trapped?
Is there a trap, like a trap inside the? Maybe it's not necessary because it's going right through the wall and out. It's probably just straight.
It's just going right. Yeah, it's going. It's
and
a tube.
Then that plugs up. That just plugs up with like brown goo, basically.
Yeah, it's algae. It's algae.
It's microbial. It's just microbial growth.
And over time, it's like an artery with cholesterol. It keeps getting thinner.
It happens to mine on my indoor coils in my basement because it's a central system.
Yeah.
So all my PVC is not. I have sections that aren't glued together on purpose, so I can take it apart and clean it out, and then push it back to get some pressure for it because it's condensate. There's no pressure in the line. There's no
pressure.
So it doesn't have to be like glued together. It can just.
And then sometimes what happens, some insects get up inside the pipe inside. They make a nest and things like that. And
you do the whole video on fixing it. That's cool.
I got and that's my number one video. That's my number one video on YouTube, and that's what generates enough to actually keep me going with that. The other stuff generates enough interest for the people with subscribers who really like the topics that I talk about. That's what keeps me going mentally to do these things. But for trying to make a small bit of revenue, those type of videos are what I go for. And then my second biggest one has to do with Samsung, not the Samsung TV, but Samsung refrigerators are phenomenal for having problems, especially the French door side by side. On the back of them, you'll hear a buzzing sound. And what happens is there's a freeze up behind one of the fans. The fan distributes the cool air properly inside your refrigerator. But what happens is there's a design flaw, and I've identified it, but Samsung, like DJI with their cold solder joints, and they won't admit that they have a lack of quality control in their manufacturing process. And it's actually for this problem, there's actually a class action lawsuit against Samsung in the United States because of this. But I show people how to go in, inspect, very easily remove the parts, go in, inspect, how to fix the problem or identify what the problem is. That's my second biggest revenue making on. My third is actually on Samsung also. It's the Samsung the ice maker. The ice maker, what'll happen, especially in a very humid environment like the Philippines here, and we have the same problem in Charleston in the US because it's very humid in Charleston, as you probably know as well. What'll happen was when your ice maker fills up, your automatic and it gets to the top, and there's supposed to be a mechanism, there is a mechanism in place that will stop the ice from dumping more inside there because it's full. But there's
like an arm, a little metal arm.
So what happens with Samsung is it kind of gets confused and it tries to dump it, but what it does, it freezes it and it locks all that ice in that little space between the ice maker and the tray itself. And then even if you remove all the ice, your ice tray is empty after a while using it, it won't produce any more ice because it's locked up inside there. So I did a video on that one, and I show people how to do defrosting.
Watching it.
It's mainly a defrosting type of way how you can
get the feed up to work again.
Yeah, there's two methods of doing that, but I show that it's a very simple. And believe it or not, if you go back and look at look at the comments of the people go back in, that people saying, "Oh, you just saved me $150."
Nice. Samsung Samurai.
Yeah, but let me tell you a little story. I mean, I love Samsung products, but I have a feeling Samsung kind of does think because they're so smart. The Korean engineers are so smart, but I have a feeling. Again, I'm trying not to make this into conspiracy theory kind of topics inside here.
Proud people, they don't.
But I think, I think they do things sometimes so that they have a perpetual way of bringing revenue back into their company.
You don't mean planned obsolescence?
Not obsolescence, planned failure.
Planned failure. Yeah, I think Chuck
And
hit the nail on the head a little
maybe
bit more
that
accurately
seemed-
in the direction. So it's like this problem that I have right now. My plan was a 2-part series on the Samsung LED backlight failure. All right. The first one was to show people how easy the consumer, if they want to, if they have just a little bit of skill, a little bit, how they could go inside. Yeah, go
and
inside.
probably 3 hours for somebody who's never done it before, I'm guessing.
Yeah, about 3 hours. About 3 hours to be able to go and replace this failure. Where, and also it has to do. I like green. I like people protecting the environment, because most people, what they'll do when their TV goes bad, they'll throw it inside the trash. It goes into the trash. So you got all these plastics. You know?
Sorry, a new one. Excuse, honey, we can get a new TV now because the other one broke.
yeah, that's another one. That's another one. So anyway,
Sorry.
I just wanted to show. I just wanted to show people how easy it is. Now, I did it on. That's a 43-inch. I showed people how to do that, and it cost me, like you said, approximately, what was it, like $30 or less? $30.
Well, in your video, you were really cool to figure out you showed like if you paid Samsung to do it to get parts and labor, it was pushing $300 or something. Maybe that was on the big TV. That might have been the big TV.
I think the big TV is about $350, and that's still not resolved yet, because I've been going back. It's been a month and a half now. A month and a half with me and Samsung. I've contacted. There's 2 people you talk to: the customer service people and the local service people. Local service people are right here inside our town. The customer service people, maybe they're in Manila. I don't know where they are. And then the next level of the chain are the people in Korea, Samsung Enterprises or whatever, the main company. So I'm dealing at the 2 lower levels of the chain right now. And the people from the Samsung customer service, of course, it's just a person that's just doing their job, you know. We're gonna open up a ticket for you. We're gonna do whatever we can to resolve your problem. So very kind. Everything is text scripted and by the book and everything like that. Then you go through. They contact the service center here. Now, my experience with the service center here, they're nice people, but I told you before, I believe that they make money based on the labor hours that it takes to fix something. Of course, that's a serviceman. That's what he gets paid on. It's an hourly rate for fixing something. But I also think they get some kind of a kickback. Again, this might be a conspiracy theory. Don't hold me to this, but I think if they sell you a part that's only $10 as opposed to something that's $100, I think they make more money on the $100 item that they have to bring inside. I don't know. I wish I knew somebody. And if they probably had that information, they probably wouldn't share that information unless they were a disgruntled employee. But so the big TV, we have that 70-inch that has the same issue, the same symptom as the 43 that I fixed. Okay, the 43-inch TV cost me $30 to fix. If I would have let them fix it, I think it was the quote was 16,000 pesos, which is about 16,000 pesos, $300, over $300. So the other one is over $650 is what it is.
Okay, I screwed them up then. But I remember the LED strip was only like $30 US or something, which is
so I paid Samsung technician 500 pesos per TV for a service fee. They came out for only one TV, and it's $500 just to show 500 pesos just to show up at your house, which is about $10. 500 pesos. Yeah, $10. So they came out to the house, and I said, "Oh, while you're here, will you look at my other TV? It's you guys fixed this last year, but it went bad. The same exact problem that you fixed last year. It's exhibiting the same problem again." So they went up there and they looked at. All they did was looked at it, and they said, "Yep, you got to replace the display screen," which is what they did the first time. The display screen, which is what they did first time. But this is before. I did more research. This is before I really knew how simple it was to fix this issue and how cheap it was. So I had to pay them another $5 just for them to walk upstairs, look at it, and for them to write it down on their sheet, another 500 pesos. So I had to pay $20 for 2 TVs. So then I received a what is it? The proposal or a quote, and the quote was. They gave me the quote for that TV, and both of them said replace the display screen. And they told me the 2 prices. One was the equivalent of $350. The other one was the equivalent of $650. So I said to myself, cancel the one for the smaller TV, the 43-inch. I said, I'm going to fix that one myself. I said, for the one upstairs, my request is, because we know what's wrong with it, We know it's a backlight LED display. My request is for you to request through Samsung for them to just replace that, maybe a $30 item instead of a $650 item. So that's what we've gone for 6 weeks now. We're going back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth.
I was thinking the same thing initially. It looked like a similar part, but I'm sure
it's very similar. But the
wattage,
the
color, the wattage, and then the temperature of the bulbs of the LED elements is probably quite different. I mean, those are all things that matter with the TV. It's like, you know what I mean? That's like.
So anyway, we've been going back and forth, back and forth. So conveniently for the service center here in our local area, they keep coming back and telling me, "Oh, the display is in stock right now. That's $650 item, but the $30 LED or $40 LED backlight strips, we just can't seem to get that. Samsung just doesn't have any availability of that right there. Would you like?" And they keep saying to me, "Would you like to just go ahead and replace the display screen?"
Yeah,
and I keep telling them, "Yeah, I would like you to replace the display screen if you'll only charge me for what is that? My wife is showing me. No, that's for a 55. Oh, 55 to 70. Oh, Ness just showed me. No. This is for the back. This is for the back of the TV. It's for. Yeah, Ness is inside doing research for me.
Oh, okay.
She's hearing the conversation going on here. Yeah. Which she just went because I told her I can't even find where it was really easy for me to get. Everybody has the 43-inch backlight strips all over the Chinese market, Russian market, the Chinese market. Very easy to get those. But the one for the 70-inch TV, I can't find ability in Alibaba, AliExpress, Lazada. No. What that is for, I'll tell you what that's for in just a minute. Nobody has it. So when Samsung tells me that there's no stock, there's probably no stock. It's probably a very difficult item, or they have something going on there. Maybe another conspiracy theory type of a thing. Maybe they keep
I
their
don't know,
little
man.
they keep their little private. Yeah, keep the little private.
Usually service is separate from you know. I mean, it's like it's a separate deal, especially when you're out of warranty. Then
yeah. What Ness just brought to me just now.
I can't speak for other companies. I work for one, and I'm a service engineer right now, and I'm the dude on the phone a lot of times, and I'm pretty easygoing guy. But nobody's getting rich from my side fixing stuff that broke. It's just frustrating.
Obviously. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, go to work for. I think you need to go to work for Samsung. Then you said nobody's getting rich. Yeah, okay. I can tell you, Samsung's getting rich. They're getting rich. There's no doubt in my mind.
The service guys are usually doing pretty good.
I got to tell you,
service guys are doing all right.
To be fair,
parts guys are doing all right.
To be fair, I like even with all the problems I have with Samsung, I like the design. I like the quality when they're working and everything's working. It's just like I talked about GoPro this morning. It's a love-hate relationship, and I sort of have that same relationship with my. Now there are certain Samsung things things I will not buy, and I will not recommend. And maybe that's be left for another day because people ask me, and it has to do with home building, with parts that you would use for your house. And I do a lot of research, and I look at consumer reviews and things like that. Right. And I talk. You know, when the people come to our house to install something, I'll get a case in point is when the air conditioning people came to do our air conditioning here. I brought them out to the house, and they sell everything. They sell LG, they sell Samsung, Daikin, they all these different type of air conditioning units. And I asked them, and who you want to talk to are the people who do the servicing, because the people who do the servicing will tell you this is where I get called out the most on is this specific brand or something like that. So that's always a good tip. And then if that correlates, the information you get, that correlates with the information you get from consumer reviews, the two of those things together, there's so much evidence that it's compelling to either buy something or avoid that specific product. And that's why we ended up buying Daikin for our air conditioning units, because we did a lot of
Daikin. Did you say Daikin?
Daikin. Japanese.
Ooh. Japanese. Yeah, I'm familiar with them. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder why, James. Put one and one together and get two.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Because I don't know.
So,
Maybe.
I can't. Is something behind you? Maybe the light.
No, I
think
could pull a couple of shirts out of my closet that happen to have that written on them. Just saying.
Okay. So anyway, right now we're still hashing this out back and forth with the TV.
Right.
Now, I'll be honest with you. If it gets to a certain point and I'm not satisfied, I'm pretty sure I know how to fix the TV for free instead of spending $650. Because like I explained in that particular video when I was going at the very intro of that video, I talked about LED technology, backlight technology inside TVs. And what was the first thing that I said? If you remember, Art probably remembers. What happens? You have an LED strip, and an LED strip is compared to what? It's compared
Christmas
to
tree
the
lights.
old Christmas tree.
One goes out, they all go out.
One goes out.
But you have two separate strips in there. That's why you had only half the one half was illuminated.
And it's basically like a series. It is a series.
They are in series, yeah. If there's no shunt to like allow one to die.
So what happens even when you get to the LED that's bad and you have no continuity from the input to the output of that LED, it can't make the circuit all the way back around. It's like you cut the circuit. You only have one line going through. Yeah. So that's the analysis of what's going on with the TV down. I have no lights at all. So there's actually a way that you can correct that. You can go into that type of. It's a different LED strip than the one. It's not two single strips on the. It's actually multiple strips that go along the back plane of that aluminum frame on the inside. You can actually have one light that's that one LED that's light. It's going in. There's nothing going out, so the whole circuit won't close. But what you can do for free, you can jumper over that one LED that's bad. And they sell these inexpensive LED test light diagnostic tools, and you just put a probe on one side and the other, and you go from LED to LED until you find the one LED.
Just change the whole strip like you did, though, because if you lost one, chances are you're going to lose another.
Well, I won't say that.
You don't think so?
It depends on the age, because every light device, whether it's an LED, whether it's an incandescent, they have a lifespan. And they're normally something like 60,000 hours, or I don't know what the number, but it's a huge amount of hours.
Really not that long when you.
But you will get some that will fail in 20 hours. You'll get some that'll fail in 300 hours. Just like we have maybe 40 lights around our post around our yard inside here, and out of those 40, we probably in 3 years we've lost 3 or 4 lights in that. But I expect the other ones will last another 3 years. So to replace that entire strip, on the chances are, because waiting 3 more years for another one to fail, I would prefer not, because it's an effort cutting all those LED lights inside. It's an effort to do all that inside there. So to jumper it, you just get a piece of wire, you jumper from one to the other. If you only have one bulb that's bad inside there, doing that. Yeah. That's a way. I'm not saying that it will fix my problem. There are other things. I'm simplifying things, but that's normally, I will say, the biggest percentage of the problem with when you lose that backlight and you see that there's a display on your screen. If you look with a flashlight and there's no backlight, most of the time, 90+% is going to be that backlight strip inside there. It can be the power supply, but normally, like with the TV, the 43-inch that I had that I fixed, when it's only one side and not the other, normally it's not going to be the power supply, because the power supply is providing the power to the other half of the power strip. And there's other things you can do. You can test the pins to determine if it's a power supply. You can test the pins and look at the voltages going into providing the power. And if one side has it and the other side doesn't have it, then it could possibly be your power supply. But there's other things. Yeah. So anyway, again, I'm being really flexible right now. I'm giving Samsung the opportunity. I'm giving them the opportunity to do the right thing, and I'm hoping they will do the right thing.
No manufacturer really wants a problem like that out there. They don't want, like I know, like with Daikin, when a problem's identified, it gets addressed. Okay, I mean, even it could be something that's been that way for a very, very long time, because it's been fixed and nobody's come to the company to tell them that, hey, this is happening. Usually technicians just fixing, and then you never get word of it. But yeah, you don't want that stuff going on like that. That's not cool. It's like you expect the products to be reliable. And
yeah, well, I will tell you, I see many things in my repair of different things. I see things because, again, I'm a retired integration engineer. Part of being an integration engineer is you have to have the ability to think outside the box. Again, what I said earlier is when you are designing something, there's many ways to get to your goal. There's many different ways of doing it. What you try to do is to try to find the easiest, most quality controlled way to get to it. There's many factors that involve you getting to where you need to get to. So I've seen both in that Samsung refrigerator how they could fix that problem, and it has to do with quality control, quality assurance, for fixing that. But for the TV, and it would change the dynamics of the entire scope of the TV industry. And it's not, I know Samsung. I don't know the insides of LG, the insides of
Sony.
The other Sony. I don't know the insides, but
yeah.
I will tell you right now, if they wanted to save the consumer a lot of money and they wanted to be able to fix something a lot faster, but by doing that, sometimes you lose your profit margin as the company, but you save money to the consumer. The design of all these TVs should basically have where the light strip is. It should have a remote, basically
a removal panel, so you can get to that. You can get to that section.
You just pull the panel back, just like when I showed you how you get to the card.
You're never
the display card to the display card, and it has a ribbon cable on there, and you just undo the ribbon cable. Well, they could do the same exact thing for a back panel for the LED backlight strips on all TVs, all these type of TVs, because it's in a section where all you have to do.
That's going to add a great deal of cost to the design, though, as you know. Yeah. So that's going to be
because that's another opening.
Now you have to engineer another
back in one piece.
Yep.
Well,
yep. And then that's addressing an issue that's probably a relatively. I mean, now granted, there's a lot of failures, but that's because there's so many units out there in the world.
Well, you know what?
World in the wild.
You know what? If Elon Musk would have taken that same attitude that you're taking right now, do you think he would have designed it a spacecraft that could launch and come back and land? Because they would say, do you know how much it's going to cost to make something that can have a re-entry and have a controlled re-entry, and we can reuse this item? Just think of it. Just put that into a parallel right there between those two. So the same thing.
Nobody else is making a spaceship that they have to sell to 9 zillion different people in the world as a consumer product. Against
not right now.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, man. I mean, like you have Samsung building a TV, you have Sony building TVs, you have LG making TVs, and everybody's trying to get the same. You, me, and Art, and everybody else to buy a TV, and everybody buy a drone like DJI and everybody else. So you got to be the cheapest. So if you put that panel on the back, you ain't the cheapest anymore.
Well, you got to think.
If it makes
let's go
warranty,
back. You talked about a company. I'm going to do a comparison here. You talked about a company that was probably number one in the industry years ago. I don't know where they are right now, but I know when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s and 90s, the number one television you could buy is the Sony. The number one TV was Sony.
Baby.
I'm talking about after
they were awesome.
when they went into LED technology. The number one,
the Bravia.
I think the Bravia was the first one, and I kept buying the Bravia each year as it came out.
Right now, man, they're awesome.
And why?
They're bulletproof.
And let me ask you, what was more expensive, a Sony or an LG at that time when you bought those TVs?
I never looked at LG. I wanted Sony. I didn't care what it cost.
Listen, how about Sony and what any other name brand?
Sony always seemed like it was more money, but
it was always more money. And why did you buy Sony? You bought Sony because you knew it was a quality product. You knew the name. You bought it for, even though there was more expensive parts put inside there, that's why you bought it. So your whole reasoning behind the consumer will not pay a little bit more money for a TV. I think you just proved or we just proved that that's not correct philosophy. If you sit there and say, I will buy a Samsung because if my LED backlight goes out, I can easily myself order that backlight strip and plug that thing inside myself, or even if I have to have a service technician, it's not going to cost me $650 to replace it. It's going to cost me $40 or $50 to replace it.
We make
So
our TVs, so
maybe I backpedal a little bit, and I'll say that
make it cheaper.
It might be possible to market that on their top tier stuff, but not like the lower tier stuff.
Now they have an opportunity to do the right thing, but it's everything in business is about the bottom line.
How old's the TV,
making
though?
money.
Yeah, how old's the TV?
Yeah, and that's another thing. You got to take all these things into consideration because
they are all
most
factors.
people on consumer electronics, especially in the U.S. market, not here in the Philippines, but in the U.S. market, we want the latest and greatest. We'll have a working TV that there's no problem with that. But just like you guys with your DJI drones, look how long it took me to go from my Phantom to the air. Look how long it took me to do that. But look how many of the series of DJI, both of you guys, Art and Chuck, how many do you have in between your very first one and your latest one that you have right now?
I can't count that high. Come on.
Well,
man.
you see what I'm saying. So
I have leveled off though. The Mavic 2s, I'm happy with my Mavic 2s, and I haven't considered the Air 2 or the Air 2S, or the Mini's intriguing because of its application. But no, I've been rolling with the Mavic 2s for a while. Man, they've been out a long time too.
Yeah, I heard your comment. I heard your comment about.
But yeah, if they come out with a 3, I'll be a sucker for that. I'm pretty sure.
I heard your comment about making Lori put down $1,000 deposit while she flies it through the swing set or something like that.
She wants to do it. Yeah, she says I'll get through. I said, yeah, once, and it'll be in pieces.
I want to see that video. I want to watch that video. I think
believe me, I'll have the GoPro. I'll have the GoPro running in a high frame rate. I don't have a super high frame rate camera, but I have a feeling it'll be a good crash video.
My money is on Lori.
That's awesome. I mean, I want her to make it through too, but I have a feeling I'll be buying new arms.
Yeah, my money's on Lori. I want to see that video. And I want you to sit there. I want to see your face when she flies it right through and it's successful and it goes through. I want you to have another camera. Get your other GoPro, and I want to focus right on your face.
This is going to be a 4-camera operation, James. I think.
Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that.
Yeah, no, it would be a really cool video because I mean, she says she can do it, and she probably can, but she needs to practice a little bit, dude.
Of course.
I asked her. I said, do you want to do like manual mode, because I don't want to, but do you want to like? I have liftoff on the computer. Come play liftoff with the controller and get good at it, and then do it and make me proud, because I have no interest in doing that with this thing. I don't. I'm a camera drone guy. Wow, we're back on topic, but kind of off topic. The FPV drone. No, I was well. Anyway, yeah. So the FPV drone, I think it might be more. Lori might be more into it than me.
Are we influencers here? Are we
James,
maybe? Yeah.
Bill's wife is from the Philippines.
Yeah, is that the one you said from Luzon? I heard you were talking about somebody earlier.
Yeah.
Well, this is Luzon. What part of Luzon? Because this is Luzon.
I think he said they have some property in Baguio. And
that's way up. That's way up.
Or Tobacco.
You know, any way we pronounce any Tagalog word here is all wrong. Everything even me, as long as I've been, everything, Nessa she's always correcting me, and that's to do with where the accent on the syllable is, where the accent, and I still screw it up really bad. But yeah, Baguio. Oh, she's from Baguio. Actually, I got to tell you, if there are some unique places anywhere in the Philippines, when I say unique, that has something that none of the other part of the Philippines offers, is Baguio is one of those places, because Baguio is probably, and I think it is, the highest elevation on the island of Luzon. They actually have places in the mountains there.
Feet.
They have places where occasionally they'll get some snow inside the areas that they have here, which is unheard of for the Philippines. So they have, the climate's much cooler. As a matter of fact, I want we were going to go to Baguio. It was a family vacation we were going to do just after the pandemic hit here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, yeah, we want to go. We definitely want to go there.
Bill's
And
been busy today in the chat.
and
Been
they
busy
have
boy.
they have some of the native people in Baguio, and they have like traditional dances and music and attire that they have. I bought I bought some of the traditional, the cultural outfit they have. It's like a dress. It's like a dress bottom that they have, and yeah, it's kind of like what you expect from like a luau when you go to Hawaii, or something like that, and people doing the dancing stuff. And they have a specific kind of dance that they do and all down there. And I bought that, and I'll put that. I haven't taken it out of the bag yet. It's still inside the bag, but I want to wait till I have an opportunity to release that on one of my videos. There's a.
Dress? I can't wait to see
wear
the dress.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear the dress. I'm gonna
Awesome.
wear the dress. I'll wear the dress and go
The
barefoot.
dress
And the only thing is, it's gonna be really obvious that
You
I'm
shave
the
your
white.
chest?
That I'm the white. Yeah, I was just gonna say, because you're not gonna see any old gray-haired white men up there wearing that stuff in the body.
Yeah, just shave your chest.
Well, man, you might. We have a lot of foreigners that are visiting the Philippines now, so who knows?
Oh, she was.
Oh, that's cool.
Dancing.
Ah.
I will, back to the TV thing though. I'll say that my Sony TVs, I've always trashed them before they flat out died.
Well, I still have.
I have a 2009 Bravia. It's a 52 incher. It's LED backlit, like the thin ones. It's the edge lit one. That thing, I just replaced it 3 years ago. It's in the extra room because it works just fine. It's a 1080 though. It's not 4K.
I still have my 2008 Bravia, and I ordered. It was a special order because it was white. I had to order the special white case, and it fits inside. I built a library in the front of our house in the U.S., and I made a special section inside the center of the library above some cabinets. And all the cabinets are white, and I mounted the white Bravia inside there. But the 2008, there wasn't anything, I don't believe, called a smart TV at the time. So there's really not too much smartness about it. It has the inputs where you can put a DVD player.
Yeah, mine was like that too. It was like semi-smart, but it was kind of...
the smartest thing it had on it was auto channel scanning or something like that.
Yeah, my 09 was similar to that. But the OLED that replaced it a couple of years back, that thing, I don't know if it'll hold up as well as the older Bravia did, because it's...
But you know what? 2008, and it's still going today.
It's pretty impressive, right?
It's still
heavy. I bet it's heavy too.
It is heavy.
Yeah.
And it's not that big. It's only like it's really, because it fits in a small section. I'm going to say it's like a 32
Trinitron. I saw Steelman's comments art, by the way. Yeah. They were the reference design. That's why I wanted one so bad. Yeah. Remember, the cool thing about the Trinitron was the screen was only curved in one direction. It was only curved. Well, I can't do it now. You know what I mean? It's like it was flat it was straight up and down on the edge, and it just made like a semicircular kind of. The tube was like curved.
Well, I like Sony. I believe the Sony Corporation back in the day, they were innovative. You remember we talked about
Trinitron was very innovative.
Well, remember when we talked about Beta Max and High 8, Sony's High 8 technology and stuff like that.
All good stuff.
They actually had superior products than other products. Yeah, there you go. They had superior products that were better than other products on the market.
I think I have something of yours, Art. I think this is even your writing on it.
Yep.
It killed me when VHS beat the market over the Beta Max that they had inside there.
The Beta picture quality was better, but they didn't. We talked about this before. The length of recording time,
smaller. Yeah, there was.
But the length of recording time wasn't enough to hold a full featured movie, which is where they failed.
You know what the thing is? New technology. Every time you get new technology, it's always something. It's growing. You always have something to grow with. Things get better and better. But the format
they added longer tapes. There was
so much, but they lost out to VHS because of
that, and VHS was really not anywhere near as good as the Beta format.
Yeah, and size, huge size of the VHS.
Beta had one drawback. Beta always had the tape rolling across the rotating drum, though, and VHS tugged the tape away from it. That was an advantage.
All right,
Do you know that?
I know we're running super late here, man.
I gotta go
I know.
too. But...
Well, because no show next week, I'll be on vacation.
Okay.
So I'm not anywhere near my limit yet.
Well, the last time or they call it last time over here.
The last time.
They've got the last. Yeah. If you say last the week before last, they don't. That term isn't used in the Philippines. It's last. The last.
Like pizza. Last.
You remember? But one of the episodes ran so late one time. We were still here talking, and YouTube had already shut StreamYard had already shut us down, and we're like, and we're sitting here and we're talking.
Yeah.
That was funny. It's like, yeah, you have one of the longest. But I'm glad you do that because it gives. I'm glad you do
watch Spike. He's a guy over in Australia. He had one that ran for 8 hours.
Who watches? Who watches something for it? Who could possibly? How can YouTube even allow you?
It's like the Jerry Lewis telethon. What are we doing here?
Yeah. I can't believe 8 hours. Do you remember? Well, maybe you don't because you guys are a little bit more of a newcomer into this than I am. When I first came into YouTube, there was a maximum limitation on the size of the file that you could upload, and it was something like 1 gig or less than 1 gig. So it was like that. Yep. So I had to be, and that was, I'm going to say that happened right around the beginning of 2017 because I had to be real careful because remember, most of my videos are about 30-minute videos. I try to stay around 30 minutes. And a lot of times they would go over and I would have to cut them back and kind of manage it. But then after a while, and I don't know when they changed, and I don't think they really announced it to people, or maybe they did, and I never got the memo. But I started getting my file started getting bigger, and I just kept pushing it. I kept pushing it until my average video when I do 1080p, I think is about 3.5 gig. That's about my average of my size. So I was going like 3 times the amount, but they never shut my videos down. So I kept pushing. And now I don't even know if you can do 8 hours, like you just said, maybe there is no limit. Maybe there's not. All I know is somebody's got a lot of servers that are full of a lot of data around the world.
All right. Well, we're at 3 hours and 12 minutes.
Well, that's about right. I think normally I try to make sure we shut down at 3 hours. I try to give you the cue that, and I'm sorry I was late today. But again, there was some.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. I'm not really.
It's funny.
But I enjoy. I slept in a little bit. I did sleep in a little bit. So
I got to roll out a couple more vlogs. I think so I'm gonna take my time with them.
I'm gonna have to change my view. This is the first time I've had the grill behind me, and I noticed this area back over here. There's so much sun. I
see the reflection. I see how blown out the sky is behind you.
I first went like this when I sat down. I wanted to sit here, and I said, "Oh, you can't see my face," and I'm like,
"Yeah,
so I moved
it this
the
way.
window
helps a lot."
Yeah, so normally I have the other side, and the other side is pointing to all the green, all the trees and the palms and everything behind me.
And see the reflection behind you in the window. It's pretty. You can see the palm trees and the blue sky and the clouds.
Well, I have to get a drone video. Maybe I'll do that for my first drone shot.
Nice.
I need to go up in the subdivision because remember, they cut down all the trees here, all the mahogany trees, most of the mahogany trees that are lining up or very close. And that are causing problem with the electric lines inside here. The subdivision looks very different now.
It's too bad you could have got that footage as it happened. It had you could have done missions and had shots and then more shots and did I could.
Well, I did. I actually somewhere, if I didn't delete it, I have a video where I did remember when I talked about me doing some mods to my Phantom 4. Well, I did some high altitude shots to get the entire subdivision in frame in one because you have to go up pretty high.
To
get the whole subdivision. So maybe I'll do that again, and I'll do a comparison side by side. Look at the before and the after shot. But as much as I hate cutting down trees or anything like that, it was necessary to provide more stable electricity inside here, so we don't have these brownouts as often as we do. And since they've done this, since they've cut most of the trees, where we've been getting lately, we've been getting a lot of brownouts about every other week, because of what they're saying is Tuco jumping from the tree and touching the electric line and blowing fuses on the transformers here. Since they've done this, we haven't had one brownout yet since then. So sometimes you have to sacrifice a little bit of beauty or something like that for safety,
functionality
and safety. So they did that. But you know what? Be honest with you, my view of my backyard right here right now from the pool back, before we had 3 huge mahogany trees, I couldn't see anything back in the past. It's opened it up so much. It's a whole different dynamics of what my backyard looks like right now. And nice thing, we are so high up on the hill. We're one of the highest locations in the subdivision, our topography here. Now I can see things I never saw before. I can see a little bit more of the mountain range. We have mountains on both sides. Before, the trees were blocking a lot of this. I can see the openness makes the subdivision even look bigger. So I actually think it's probably a good thing for the aesthetics inside here. It'll be cleaner. But I'll try to get a before and after shot of that using the drone. Maybe that'll be, like I said, my first drone shot using the Air 2S.
Cool. Alrighty. All right, it looks like we're to the end. I want to say goodnight to everybody in the chat. Bill, Steve, Steelman58, K-Parn, and I think those were the only guys that
hung it. 20. I saw 20 at some point. We were down to about, we were like at 10.
Oh, you had 24.
Yeah, well,
I saw
we're down to 9.
Yeah, I saw 24 at one point.
Yeah,
we were cooking, man. We were cooking. We were talking drones. We were talking cameras. We were we were doing our thing.
I don't know. 3 hours is tough.
A little bit of pancake talk, but mostly it was drones.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Speedos.
Alrighty, so
there was a little bit. There is a bikini contest you can enter.
I'll have a whole bunch of video when I get back from my vacation.
Art, you might have some bikini entries too, by the way. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, maybe we could get Darcy from Darsizzle to come on.
You're probably gonna get one from like
tonight.
Steelman or something, and his freaking, a man of steel in his.
All right, everybody. Let's
Art,
shut this
Greg
bad
Lougain
boy
is
down.
special.
Yeah, go ahead. Closing comments.
Where are you going, Art? Where are you going on vacation? Did you say?
I'm going down to a little town in southeast Colorado called Bristol. My friend that his family is the Candyman, Enstrom's Chocolate. He's got a ranch down there where I'm going to do some fishing, and he's got his boat down there. We're going to go out on a couple lakes there, and then I go from there to Pueblo, where I have a friend who is a fishing guide, and we're going to do about 2 or 3 days of fishing there.
You be sure. Sorry,
as the Allman brother said, Lord, you were born a traveling man.
Traveling. You be sure to set that return to home to the remote control and not anywhere else. So when you're out on that boat with the drone, if you dare to fly from the boat, that it comes back to your boat in your remote control and not where the home point was before.
That's right. Maybe I'll be brave enough to where I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that on Rick's boat.
Maybe you can get somebody to help you hand catch it too. One of the crew can help you hand catch it.
Or maybe you want to use one of your cheaper drones when you're out on the water.
Maybe. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, don't lose a drone
over
it.
Mavic Air that I could.
You're gonna risk it for the biscuit? Is that what you're gonna do?
I don't know. I'll just bring the Air too. All right, everybody. Bill, you have a great weekend, and catch you in a couple weeks. Bye-bye, everybody.
Peace out.
Cheers.